1039 FM.
2 corrections officers are arrested for allegedly smuggling drugs and cell phones into a Northeast Philly prison. It's an all-hands-on-deck effort in Chinatown to reopen Sankey Peking Duck House by the holidays. And police have finally caught the pig that's been spotted around Bensalem for more than a month.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in, everyone. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board with us. We'll hear the latest in the caller of the year, set you up with the next match on that. We got a big guest at 12:30. We have the mayor of that town that borders on Newark, where he broke it loose, this issue of radioactive material and the drones. We have Mike McCall, after a 3-hour intelligence meeting yesterday, in which they apparently said nothing for 3 hours, come out of it. He's the chair of the Intelligence Committee, pointing to China, pointing to Chinese farmland. So we have Dave McCormick on the show today, too. We'll ask him about some of these things. But on a drones, yeah, that's right, pun intended, on a drones that our government, with a guy, this is prima facie evidence, 25th Amendment, once again, if we need it more, with Joe Biden. When asked about the drones yesterday, the president, they finally cornered him. Joe Biden gave us the following 22 seconds, what he thought was happening with the drones that, let's face it, are terrorizing people. We're not talking aliens. We're not talking whatever. They're terrorizing us. And a guy at the end of the show put it well yesterday, talking about Joe Blow was his answer to your favorite Joe. How Joe Blow has no voice in this, and neither do our representatives. A lot of these are honorable people in Jersey that we bring on, Congress people, Jeff Van Drew, Testa, the woman in Sussex County, all those. And they're just powerless to shake loose these people that won't tell us what's going on and continue to try to demean, try to put down, try to spin, try to mock, engage in smugness. Here's Biden's answer yesterday.
Nothing nefarious, apparently, but they're checking it all out. I think it's just one. There's a lot of drones authorized up there. I think one started and they all got it. Everybody's wanting to get in the deal.
Can you imagine this? Even this adult man trying his turn at demeaning. Yeah, one started it, one drone, and they're authorized, and that started everybody. All these people are talking about stuff. What the hell do they know? Get out of here. you know, as we churn toward the holidays, as I've predicted, until Trump gets inaugurated, I don't think you're going to hear anything shaken loose. Now, I interviewed the mayor of Belleville this morning, and I commended the guy, and he'll be on. You'll hear it at 12:30. He's the guy that broke it loose around the radioactivity, and I asked him what his life was like. He had all these people coming after him, and he was proud of the fact that he took a reasonable supposition and he pushed it forward in a reasonable way on New York TV, and they at least then told us, oh, low level, which it may be, broken container, etc., looking, nothing to worry about, all that stuff. They weren't even saying that before. And he said something to me in this interview about, look, you know, I expect the government to lie, but they don't even deign to have a cover story of this. I'm looking today, too, and I wonder if we have people at 855-839-1210. We had one woman yesterday. It was a nice conversation, so I'm not getting all worked up over that, whose husband had been in the military, and her attitude essentially was, well, this is the military. You don't need to know. Okay. And, again, it wasn't argumentative, so I'm not picking on her. But how can we not be unified on this? How can we look the other way and not say, you are going to tell us what's going on here? We are going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to keep pressing you every second of the day in every single way until we get to the bottom of this. And or Trump is inaugurated. And then we should know instantly. He ought to step away right after he has the oath and say, I'm not going to have any more formal ceremony. I'm announcing right here, I've just been told, here's what's going on with the drones. That would be refreshing. That's what we need. We're not going to be patted on the head and told to go away. Goofballs like Biden saying, oh, they saw one drone, and suddenly they're all seeing drones and all. Nothing nefarious. We don't want to hear about anything nefarious. Now, Mike McCall, I brought in one of the original speaker series. He is the head of the House Intelligence Committee. And McCall talked about the idea that the Chinese yesterday, when he came out of the meeting, have bought up a lot of farmland. And he talked about the fact, one of the things Trump ought to do, we ought to immediately move. I don't care what the laws are, whatever we have to change. The Chinese should not be able to buy anything in this country. I mean, the Communist Chinese Party, their affiliates, and anybody that hides it for them after these laws are firmly enforced is committing treason. We can't allow them to continue to buy up land. McCall talks about the fact, yeah, you're right, Dan, cut 7, that he believes these are Chinese spy drones. And he says that we know they bought up land near military bases. Now, what does near mean? They don't have to be right across the highway, even 10, 15, 20 miles away. They are the enemy of the world, the Communist Chinese infrastructure. We've already seen that with COVID. We already saw it, I remind you all the time, with NBA basketball, etc., that they are the enemy of the world, an existential threat. They put that spy balloon coming across the country. I think ultimately this is the same thing. Are they having the Iranians, as Jeff Van Drew suggested, aid and abet them? Maybe, maybe not. They may be doing it, McCall is saying, from their own farmland, their own land that they bought near military bases. We ought to be able to figure this out. Here's what he said.
Yeah, we want answers. The response that I'm getting is that we don't know whose drones these are. I was with the NASA administrator, Bill Nelson. He said that these drones have been reported over military sites, military bases. I would not think those are friendly. I would think those are adversarial. In fact, NASA seems to be picking up more than our military is with respect to the drones. So I think Congress is gonna pursue this. I know the House Intelligence Committee is having a hearing on this. We need to identify who is behind these drones. My judgment, based on my experience, is that those that are over our military sites are adversarial and most likely are coming from the People's Republic of China.
All right. Now, this guy is the guy that wrote the book on terrorism, looking at every angle of some unique things that could be done. We had him here for Speaker Series. He's rock solid, a bit of a rhino on other issues, but not on national security. And he continued after this 3-hour intelligence brief yesterday.
Do you think you'll be satisfied with what you hear today?
Probably not. I think they're going to say they don't know. And that's a concern in and of itself. That if we have drones flying around military bases and we can't identify where they came from or who's responsible for them. I know there are a lot of commercial drones out there, and Secretary Mayorkas has talked about this. That's fine, but the ones flying over our military bases, by definition, I would say are adversarial. We need to know who is behind that because I believe they're spy drones. And the PRC, Chinese, Communist China, is very good at this stuff. And we know they bought land around military bases. This would be very consistent with their policy over the last couple of years.
All right, so there's McCall laying it out, and we're trying. There's a couple people, Fitzpatrick, Scott Perry that we usually get on, Ronnie Jackson. They were in the intelligence meeting. 3 hours of this. Essentially unsatisfactory. Why don't they know? Why don't they shoot them down then? If it's over a military base or something of that nature. This drones on and on and on. That's exactly the word. And we have no sense of any conclusion on it, any transparency. How could that be? Well, I gave you the mixture of stuff that I think. You have arrogance, smugness, laziness, incompetency, all writ large. You heard Biden. Nothing nefarious, and one goes up, and all your people seeing drones now. He still has the power of the presidency, at least on paper. Kamala Harris, the backup, I'm sure, is on this. They don't care at this point, and they don't want to be bothered. And then you have other forces there that God knows why they're doing this. It could be pretty simple, and they just don't want to give it up. For what reason? Well, I just laid them out. Sometimes it's not a grand conspiratorial thing. But I do believe that the Chinese definitely points toward them. And it points toward the issue of why are they allowed to buy things in this country. That has to be rooted out. You need a czar on that. I thought the House did have a China czar at one point. All right, let me give you the side question today. We've been saving this one up. I think Monday or over the weekend, the anniversary was of the Boston Tea Party, the throwing of the tea, throwing stuff overboard. We took DJ and Luke there when they were pretty young, and they kept on. The guy said, well, you only get to throw the tea overboard 3 or 4 times. You know, that's enough. They throw it over and they pull it back up. It's a symbolic type of thing right there in Boston Harbor. We also did the thing that goes into the water, the floating thing, and they worked then, thank God, there in Boston. It was quite a treat. So give us something, not someone. We can't be throwing people overboard.
No.
Okay. I thought about it, and I thought, we don't want to get into this. So hit us with something out there that you would like to have thrown overboard, all right, using this as our premise. I'm going to say the whole electric vehicle nonsense and or charging stations. I'll throw that overboard. That's a big thing. It's going to take up a lot of water.
Dom, it was crazy at the Deptford Mall the other night. There was actually a line for the charging stations. I couldn't imagine having to wait in a line to charge your car.
Yes, the inconvenience of this.
And you're waiting like lengthy amounts of time for people in front of you to. It's not like filling up in gas where it's a minute and a half and your tank's full. You're talking like 20 minutes or so. I would think. Then, I don't know for sure, but
then you have to charge it too after that.
Yeah,
it's stunning to me. So what's yours, Dan?
Double parking.
Okay.
Yeah, throwing double parking over the edge. I don't know why the heck people, and we were talking earlier on the Dawn Show, Dom, about Trump's alleged calls to potentially reconsider the United States Postal Service. One of the points I made is that Amazon trucks and private industry seem to be the culprits of all the time stopping in the middle of the lane. And I see it all the time in Philadelphia. I don't know why it's such a theme because I don't see it anywhere else. This double parking, leaving your car in the middle of the road while, getting out of the car to hop into a house to make a delivery or something. It's got to go overboard, Dom.
Well, exactly. And there are parking spaces. Well, we don't want to be parked in. Well, that's too bad. We want to just be able to drive. I don't know if cops are told to look the other way. What's the big deal? Causes fights, can cause accidents, and it's just flat out wrong. Yeah, throw them all overboard. All right. Henry, what's yours?
Yeah, so I'm going to take the buzzwords misinformation and disinformation and throw them straight overboard. As the trust in our traditional media erodes, I believe using the phrase misinformation and disinformation is just so over with. People are done. There's no such thing as misinformation or disinformation. There's only information. It's your job as the consumer of that information to determine what is real and what is not. So never want to hear those words again. Get them in the ocean. Throw them in the harbor.
All right. That is certainly a good one. The way you get in is 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210. You'll hear the mayor of Belleville, I believe it is, and he told me it's near Newark, borders on it, which in itself is an interesting situation. We'll talk with him at 12:30 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Santa, he's not checking his list. He's checking out the insane deals at the Bush Auto Group. Forget Black Friday, forget Christmas shopping. These deals are so big, they'll have your wallet saying, ho, ho, holy. We're talking huge dollar amounts off select Nissans. Infinity's so affordable, Santa's ditching the sleigh for adaptive cruise control. And our pre-owned deals, they're so outrageous you'll feel like you're stealing. But don't worry, it's all perfectly legal. You're still on the nice list. Visit us online at bushautogroup.com. And remember, Philly rides with us.
The only thing worse than hiring no law firm after your injury is hiring the wrong law firm. And there are so many of them. When thousands of people call us every year asking to help them change law firms and hire us instead, I wonder why they ever called the other firm in the first place. They were smart to switch before it was too late. You only get one day in court. You know who has the resources and results to fight to handle your claim. And the big insurance company on the other side, they know it too. They know us well. You have to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away. Walk our way. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. We are big for a reason, which is why we've recovered over $9 billion for our clients. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. I happened to see a good bit this morning of the Deuce, Steve Ducey, holding Mike Johnson's feet to the fire. It was pretty funny on Fox and Friends because Johnson once again is telling us to sign this continuing resolution. I know how boring, how many times I hear it talk radio. I can imagine how you feel it. But the key issue here is we have Elon Musk on Twitter, and Ducey did ask him about that, and he didn't address that. I heard him talk about Vivek. That's easier to do. Johnson saying he's in an impossible position. Elon Musk on Twitter saying this should not pass. This excuse, well, we have to clear the decks, he kept on saying, until President Trump gets in there, and we have to pass all this spending again, without even fully knowing, of course, even some of the worst that's in it. Then we'll start afresh with Trump and with what they'll be doing here. I get it. The argument is, no matter how you slice it, if you allow the government to shut down or look like it's going to shut down, the media pounces, Democrats always come out ahead. It's almost a fact of life. But my goodness, after this win, after all of this, they seem to be saying the only playbook they have is just to do this, to capitulate to the Democrats in the spending and some Republicans, and then suddenly to start afresh. So it's going to be interesting how much Elon Musk presses on this. He did put it up publicly on Twitter. Here's Johnson, cut 15 with Steve Ducey.
And Mr. Speaker, it's not just so you've got a bunch of Republicans who are angry at you. They don't like this. And just in a couple of weeks, you're going to stand once again to run for Speaker of the House. And you don't need a bunch of Democrats mad at you. But you know, and this is breaking news you do not know. You know who also does not like this? Elon Musk, the world's richest man, just tweeted this bill should not pass. The only way you're going to be able to pass it now, Mr. Speaker, is with Democrats. If you could, what's your message to Elon Musk?
Well, I was communicating with Elon last night. Elon and Vivek and I are on a text chain together, and I was explaining to them the background of this. And Vivek and I talked last night about almost midnight, and he said, look, I get it. He said, we understand you're in an impossible position. Everybody knows that. Remember, guys, we still have just a razor-thin margin of Republicans, so any bill has to have Democrat votes. They understand the situation. They said, it's not directed to you, Mr. Speaker, but we don't like the spending. I said, guess what, fellas? I don't either. We got to get this done because here's the key. By doing this, we are clearing the decks, and we are setting up for Trump to come in roaring back with the America First agenda. That's what we're going to run with gusto beginning January 3rd when we start the new Congress, when Republicans, again, are in control. And all of our fiscal conservative friends, I'm one of them, will be able to finally do the things that we've been wanting to do for the last couple of years. Right now, Democrats still control the pens, and that's the problem. So we got to get this thing done so we don't have the shutdown, so we get the short-term funding measure, and we get to March where we can put our fingerprints on the spending. That's when the big changes start, and we can't wait to get there.
All right. Why did Elon Musk put that up on Twitter then? This should not pass. Are you tired of hearing it? Or is that a rational argument that says, all right, we don't want to blow what Trump has won here. Government shutdown at this point. You know how it plays out. I just thought they wouldn't go down this playbook. I thought they would have something different here. And moving forward during this time, this is the way that we go. 855-839-1210. That's how you can get on board. All right, we need an update here on the Caller of the Year contest.
Yeah, Dom, it is getting hot right now. It's a big competition that we have going. It is right now the Joes are matching up, and it is 62.6% for Joe of Columbus, taking the lead over Joe of Exton, who is my personal favorite to win the competition, Dom. So I am absolutely surprised to see Joe of Columbus. I'm not saying he's not a great caller and deserving of the reward, but we're talking Joe of Exton here. So, Dom, if listeners want to vote for the guru, the love guru, the guru of the show, Joe of Exton, head on over to @DomShow1210. You got about 39 minutes left. 39 minutes left.
I didn't know it was that much. All right, 39 minutes. A lot could happen. The margin's not, impossible here. We'd like to see. None of these contests have really been close.
I'm
back
shocked
and
at
forth
that.
on these.
This is a really shocking one. I really did expect it. And Joe Columbus might want to call in and say, get angry at us for our senses here. But I really thought Joe of Exton was going to take this one pretty easily.
I thought he was the chalk.
Yeah.
So, after that, in the on-deck circle, we have Scott of Mount Laurel, the runner-up last year. He'll be contending with the winner of that. That will start once we have the final winner today.
Mm-hmm.
And for this one, I think it's worthy to go into Friday's show, where we'll declare the winner. Give people a chance.
All my hippies meet. South Street, South Street.
How do we not go with this guy?
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I campaigning too hard? Remember I got in trouble last year because I campaigned too hard last second
Well,
again?
I think that Joe of Exton doesn't have any campaign as far as we know. Joe of Columbus does.
Oh, yeah? So, you know what?
Yeah.
Because
several
I'm a nice
several
person,
people
that's
say
why.
it's not illegal, to have a campaign manager and all, but there is one. And a couple of the people who were in this contest made me aware of that, which is fine. You can do that, but, it might skew things a little bit here.
Keep on trucking.
As far as how this goes. All right, so you can vote right now at Dom Show 1210.
Shakespeare's writings are an assessment of the varieties of human nature.
Oh, my God. He has that ending to it.
Human nature in 2024 is the same as it was in 1590.
Great point. Okay. I think we had his cousin the other day, the guy that went to the University of someplace in Europe, too, that called in. It sounded like a relative.
Joe Alexson has a new title, In-House Guru.
We don't have as many Joe of Columbus stylings. We'll have to collect his. We have our old Tacconis. All right, 855-839-1210.
No corncob pipe. I'm more sophisticated, a drooping pipe.
Hit me with something you would throw overboard, a la the Boston Tea Party. We'd love to have you get in with that. And we're seeing at the end of the year here, and I'm going to go to a caller here in a second. John, I'm coming to you. We are seeing three, at least, of the 4 collar counties go wild, taxing people. Yesterday we had on Montgomery County. We know that out in Delaware County, they're laughing at the Republican Party. 23% increase. The woman who proposed it right before that, well, they passed it, I believe. She asked for a raise. She's living in a $900,000 house with a husband who's a pediatric surgeon. She can come on, Dougherty, whatever. Come on, let's talk about it. Make your case that you're on a fixed income. I guess you could be on a fixed income of $1 million a year. Fixed income, I'm only making $1 million a year. I'm not making any more. And then out in Chester County, we have their nonsense. What do they all have in common? Democrats. Let's go to John in Westchester on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, John, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dom, Dan, and Henry, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you guys.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
It's going to be a little bit less merry out here in Chester County. They voted 2 Democrats to 1 Republican to pass our new 13.4% real estate tax budget. Their excuses, now their budget went up $100 million from last year. And, they wanted to pity us with, well, we're spending $10 million on new radios for all the police departments. We do that every 10 years.
Well, don't pretend I'm at the meeting. And Commissioner Goofball, how about just making sure the Cavalcantes just can't crab walk up a wall? Maybe you won't need $10 million in new police radios to be catching up.
No, we're spending $6 million on improving our prison, our county prison, and we're getting better training for the correctional staff, and we're putting new air handling systems in, so that the air quality is better in the facility. So,
but here's what these things all have in common. John, we certainly feel your pain. My grand thing in talk radio, it's not all the big guests, it's not the side question, it's not Dan, although all important in varying degrees.
Right.
It's what the hell happened to the suburbs? How did this happen? And look at Bucks County. Look at the national embarrassment of it. What is it?
The problem is that as people got more affluent and, they wanted to get more and more materialistic, they moved to areas where the opportunities were available. And Chester County, when in the 80s and, early 90s and all was nothing. I've been out here 52 years and there was nothing out here. And then slowly but surely, incrementally, more development. People moved from the city, to get away from the failing schools there.
Right.
And people moved to either Delaware County or Montgomery County or out to Chester County, the hinterland. And then, people from Delaware County started moving out of Delaware County because of all the people that were moving in from the city.
Yes.
And that's what totally flipped our dynamics here. And the Republican Party in Chester County forever has been incompetent, insufficient, and incapable.
I would agree. Delaware County even worse. And I'm not supposed to say that, but look, it's about winning. It's not about propping up the Republican Party. And the bottom line, John, is that's right. I've said this for the last 8 to 10 years when we started to get on this. The people that were smarter, they were affluent, maybe middle class up, educated.
Yep.
They fled the cities, but when they fled, they still carried with them the liberal ideology. And it's going to take another 20 years for them completely devastate the suburbs and then move on to the hinterlands. That's what it is.
They're like locusts.
Exactly. Yeah, they are. They are. The stories that we get all the time of this, for example, Montgomery County is now going before the United States Supreme Court, along with Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But Montgomery County, the suburbs, to say we ought to count ballots that are incorrect, invalid, etc., what we went before, it's only Philadelphia and Montgomery County. I mean,
why should we even vote? We'll just leave them in office.
Yeah, they are. So I would say Chester County is a little bit milder. We don't hear of their skullduggery until they do something like this. But, John, you're spot on. That's what's happened. How can you reclaim the suburbs?
Here's the thing that all three of these counties took advantage of. The 2024 presidential election, because people were focused on that, and they were not focused on what was happening in as much in their local area. We have no newspaper of any value. We have the Daily Local, but we don't get any real news of the county.
Well, John, look, I'm in agreement. How did Trump win? And I have the final because we had the election yesterday at the Electoral College.
Because I worked my behind off for early vote action and Trump forced 47.
But on the ground, the Republicans in Pennsylvania failed again. They let Democrats control the House, which controls everything. John, what should we throw overboard?
I think we should throw Josh Shapiro overboard.
All right, we can't.
No people allowed. Come on.
We can't. No people. All right, I got you here. All right, hit us with that, Dan. I'm going to delay the mayor because when people call in, we want to get to them today, and he's on tape. But the mayor has a lot to say. You'll hear him, and he was a good guy. I was tipped off by some other media sources saying maybe he wouldn't. No, he was great, particularly when I commended him and said, you said something reasonable, and you broke this open on the drones. It's the mayor of Belleville who made international news by talking about the radioactive part of this, and he'll give us his take on that coming up. But your calls. I love this one. This might be a winner from Joe Bordentown. What should we throw overboard? You heard Henry's, you heard Dan's, you heard mine. Hit us with yours. I'll go to Boston Tea Party. 855-839-1210. You get on board. Christmas and New Year's are days away. You're as busy as ever. Need help, party planning, or you're going somewhere. We have the solution always right there at Captain Chucky's. By the way, it's not just the foods. There are people who give you great advice on this stuff, too. Captain Chucky's known for their fantastic crab cakes, wild-caught shrimp, soups, and, of course, the Dom roll. Now, Captain Chucky's is teaming up with some well-known family-owned businesses to offer some other great products. Captain Chucky's and Marciano's Bakery of Philadelphia have now launched their newest invention, the Bang Bang Crab Cake and Cheese Specialty Bread, available exclusively for now at most Captain Chucky's locations. They also have this Taste of Philly section. All the great Taste of Philly things there. Stock's Pound Cakes. All in one place, this is. Marciano's Specialty Breads. Pierogies from the Pierogi Kitchen of Roxborough. Chef Matt's Key Lime Pies. Derby's Philly Famous Clams Casino. And also Vera Pasta Company of Westchester, who produce Captain Chucky's own line of pasta, including 3 different raviolis, their own lobster, bangin' crab, and finally their shrimp scampi ravioli, and their own jarred blush sauce. Please check out their website for availability. Visit on the holidays. You're going to be going somewhere, bringing stuff. Don't forget those Dom rolls. Take them with you even. And to find all this great stuff, one website, WeLoveCrabCakes.com. WeLoveCrabCakes.com. Headed to the shore. Don't forget Captain Chucky's is at the shore too. Visit Captain Chucky's at the shore.
Weather sponsored by Joseph Anthony Retreat Spa and Salon.
Weather sponsored by Joseph Anthony Retreat Spa and Salon. The secret to finishing your holiday shopping with 3 locations: Glen Mills, Springfield, and Center City at the Lowe's Hotel. Visit in person or online at josephanthony.com, where gift cards are available. That's josephanthony.com.
Clouds will be on the increase today ahead of our next storm system. Rain develops later this afternoon, so expect a slower evening commute. High temperature up around 54. Tonight, rain ending after midnight, low of around 40. And for Thursday, partly sunny and windy and colder with a high 47.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
The suburbs, everything we need is here. In the suburbs.
Giordano Show, welcome in. Get in on the side question here if you haven't done it in a while. 855-839-1210, Boston Tea Party anniversary. What would you throw overboard? And I'll play you the mayor of Belleville, who made a lot of news, and good for the producers tracking him down. Got him on today, taped it. It's not a long interview, but it gets you inside this whole drone thing and what we're facing here. And it's a tell. Any one of these politicians who says, well, what's the big deal and moving on, you don't want to vote for them. Either party. I mean, we're seeing somewhat bipartisan support to go after this and to say you got to level with people. Don't have to give government secrets. Just tell us what the overall situation is. And if you say we don't know, okay, then I'm going to have to assess, should you know, and I believe you should know what's going on here. Let's go to Joe in Bordentown. And Joe, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Afternoon, Joe.
Afternoon, gentlemen. I would say low-flow toilets and shower heads.
Yes.
Yes,
Throw 'em
absolutely.
out.
That's
We don't
that's
want
that.
'em.
Yeah, the
For a big
shower.
guy like me,
I would
you know,
even
man.
say the shower head even more than the toilet, as much as that's Dan might go the other way, but
it's the
a
toilet
low
for
flow
me.
shower. I mean, you fool around with America's showers. That ought to be it. And we know who fools around with them, which party. So here you go.
Oh, yeah.
All right, it's a good one, Joe. Yes, that's a good one. Provocative, but not like the other caller. All right, so here is the mayor of Belleville, New Jersey, Mayor Melham, or Melham. He was on New York TV. I think he was just on in general to talk about the drones, and then he drops a bomb about the radioactive material that was missing. He put it in perspective. He didn't say, oh, man, dirty bomb. He just said container, low level, some degree, that type of stuff. Here's what he told me this morning about what his 24 hours have been like after doing that.
Orange-colored sky, flash, bang.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, welcome to Philadelphia. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Where's your town? Where are you located?
So Belleville, New Jersey is in northern New Jersey. We border the city of Newark, which is the largest city in New Jersey. We're right dead smack in the middle of the New York, New Jersey metro area, right in the middle of airspace from multiple international airports.
Yeah, so I'm sure you have some expertise in this. I'm sure there are issues. It's looming right over you. I commend you, though. You're the first person with a rational look at this that broke things loose yesterday. At least they had to answer. Where are we today with what you talked about yesterday, the damaged container, the low level of radioactive material? Where are we, Mr. Mayor?
So still more questions than answers. As you correctly said, at least we brought this topic to the forefront. I mean, I know that we had a mayor's call with the White House on Monday, and they spent 45 minutes telling us we're nuts, we're seeing things, there's nothing to hear there. But yet the very next day, which was yesterday, they convened a classified briefing of the House Intelligence Committee. That lasted north of 3 hours. So what did they talk about for 3 hours when just less than 24 hours before that, they were telling us there's nothing to see here? Clearly there's something to see if they convened a meeting that lasted for 3 hours. Now, we did speak yesterday in New York about the radioactive stuff. And I just want to be clear. I've said, and I've been outspoken for 7 days now, that I believe that the drones we're seeing above, for the most part, are our U.S. assets. They are hovering over our critical infrastructure. And depending on your viewpoint on that, if you think it's not, us, well, then it's cause for concern. But if you think it is us, it's cause for comfort. So I'm okay because I'm zeroing in on the fact these are our federal assets. I lived through the Bush era threat level warnings, and we did certain things at green and certain things at orange and red. And I'm okay if they're aware of a threat, they put some assets over our critical infrastructure to look and listen. But we also have drones that are in patrol. And then I speculated, well, why are they in patrol? They're clearly looking for something, or as we would say, sniffing for something. And then I alluded to the fact that potentially they're looking for radioactive material, a dirty bomb, a suitcase nuke that they're familiar with that came in potentially through Port Newark. Then it was brought up about this missing radioactive material. I was drawing a conclusion that potentially we were looking for something. I wasn't necessarily saying it was that particular radioactive material. That was a very low dose that went missing. But it is also quite interesting that it was shipped here from New Jersey. It never got to its destination as it arrived damaged and with an open package. And yet people have said, wow, that's low-level radiation. Hey, listen, it was still reported to a federal government. There was still an alert issued. And how many other of those devices have gone missing that potentially can be combined to make something even larger? These are the questions that we want answered. I'm no longer asking who's operating the drones. I'm asking why the drones are out there scanning us. What are they looking for? That's the main question.
Are you feeling authorities, or at least because we're still in this mode here where we don't see that they're admitting that there are now drones. As you said, they said there were drones hovering before and all that. Curbing these others at the White House, at least the last that I looked, they're maintaining they're not on patrol.
Right. So when the members of the House Intelligence Committee came out, including one of our New Jersey Congresspeople, Josh Gottheimer, who, by the way, is running for governor, he had been very outspoken a week ago, yet clammed right up when he came out of that intelligence briefing, basically touting the administration's line that there's no harm, there's no fear, there's nothing nefarious here. But they, in that same interview, I heard them say that our assets are in the air. Okay, that's great. But now we have contradictory messages because then the Foreign Intelligence Committee chair just came out and made an accusation that it's China over us. I mean, so we're getting such competing stories from the administration, from our intelligence people, from the Foreign Intelligence chair. We're getting such different opinions from the top levels of government. All this lack of transparency is doing is fueling online conspiracy theories. They need to come clean with what's going on up there.
I always ask someone in your position, and that's why we're so glad, Mayor, that you're on. What has been the human cost or the toll on this? Did you get threats? Did you get people commending you? What's it been like the last 24 hours?
Listen, I've been gaslit just like everybody else. It's funny because that interview started with me saying just what I said a few seconds ago, that I'm here seeking truth. I'm here seeking transparency because I don't want online conspiracy theories to fuel. I've also said that I do believe that a large majority of these drone sightings probably are misidentification. Yet I am the one that somehow is being spun as spinning some kind of a conspiracy theory. I mean, I'm the guy out there trying to quell conspiracy theories by seeking truth, and I've been actually attacked for starting conspiracy theory. But it's run the gamut. I've had people that have called me nuts. I've had people that have called me a lot worse names than that. But yet I've had people pat me on the back. I've had people message me and say, hey, we've never heard a politician or elected official speak so freely like you do. I have to say, I did get calls from my Congress office. I did get calls from the government after I went out there. But it was nice to bring that conversation yesterday to the forefront because guess what? Because of what I said 8:30 in the morning on some show in New York City, members of the Intelligence Committee came out of their briefing and immediately started talking that, well, it's not radioactive material. At least now we're starting to bring these conversations to the forefront, and I'm grateful for that.
Well, we are too. And as I said at the very beginning, I like anyone who comes up with what we all think is a reasonable position and brings it out there. You didn't know what the possible costs would be, and you have spurred them to discount that or to outright deny it. And when they go on record doing that, we can move on. I wanted to give you a name because I'm not sure, you may not know this guy. He's one of the leaders of the House Intelligence Committee, McCall from Texas. I did an event with him here, and he said yesterday to him, the Chinese have bought up a lot of farmland around military places, etc. It points towards something like that. Do you have any inklings of anything like that? It's like the balloon. They're spying. They're not a threat to our well-being as much as the spying part of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't speak to it because I don't know all the details of it specifically, but I am aware of I believe it was a foreign Chinese national that was arrested, I believe it was LAX, that was trying to board a plane with a drone. So there's no doubt that, again, it could be foreign adversaries that are flying around that don't necessarily pose a threat because they're not trying to drop any contaminants on us or chemicals on us. They are up there spying. But there's no doubt that probably the overwhelming majority of the drones that are up there are ours. Either they're surveilling, they're making sure that there's nobody flying into that space, or they have some kind of countermeasures to down the drones that are up there. There's no doubt in my mind that the majority of the drones that we're seeing are ours, and they're up there for a reason. And if the government just told us what they were doing, I mean, listen, at least give me a cover. I'm used to the government lying to us. The fact that they didn't even have a cover story for this thing, the fact that they didn't even say, well, it's a training mission. We've flown these drones over the desert and it's fine, but let's try them out over an urban area or a densely populated. The fact they didn't even have a cover story ready is the most mind-boggling part of this whole thing.
It is. Mr. Mayor, I welcome you. Have a great holiday. Keep us in the loop on this for now, but in the future, we'd love to talk about you. I like somebody who can be honest without being a blowhard, just firing things out there. You hit the mark on that. We need more of that from public officials.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you having me.
All right, there's the mayor of Belleville, New Jersey, and I think he was spot on with this. What is it going to take to break this loose? Or are they going to wear us down? We're off into the holidays. Who cares what they're doing? Joe Biden, one drone spotted. Then, what's the deal with that? Man, what's the deal with that, man? Malarkey. How many more days? How many more days? All right, 855-839-1210. What are we throwing overboard? You heard the low flow shower and toilet. Hit us with yours. Batteries plus bulbs, Mount Laurel and Northfield. They are now certified by Apple as an IRP, which stands for Independent Repair Provider, for official Apple support to perform Apple phone repair using Apple genuine parts. For example, it's frustrating. The screen on your phone cracks. Batteries plus bulbs can repair that easily for you. Now, they've always been great at this, but by having this, you don't have to go to the Apple store. You just go here, and you're going to get Roy and his team. You know the reputation that's built up on my show over the years. Knowledgeable, professional. Whether you need a battery for an ATV, motorcycle, watch, alarm system, key fobs, if it takes a battery, Roy and his team can help you. Batteries plus bulbs has more than batteries. When it comes to lighting your home or business, both indoors and out, Roy and his team will find the proper bulb so you get the appropriate light, whether it's LED, smart lighting, halogen, incandescent, fluorescent, or miniature. From everyday batteries to the hard-to-find batteries, Batteries plus Bulbs, your single-stop battery shop for all your power solutions. For directions and phone numbers for the Mount Laurel and Northfield locations, go to batteriesplus.com. You'll love working with these men and women. batteriesplus.com.
When you look at your kids or grandkids, you can't help but wonder. You wonder what their world will be like in 20 years. Then you think about yourself. What will your life be like when you step away from work and into retirement? There are a lot of things you can't control, but with the right planning, there are some things you can. At Spectrum Wealth Partners, our Portfolio X-Ray is designed to show you how you're doing so far and what your monthly income will look like in the future. In other words, they can take you from wondering to knowing. So take control of your financial future. Call today for a complimentary evaluation. 856-322-8686 or at SpectrumWP.com. And tune into The Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 3 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Guarding online privacy is critical for me, personally and professionally. That's why I subscribe to Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo. I feel secure with Privacy Pro's 3-in-1 subscription service, DuckDuckGo VPN, personal information removal, and identity theft restoration. So we're able right now to offer you a free 30-day trial at DuckDuckGo.com/1210. DuckDuckGo Privacy Pro provides me with a VPN, secure encrypted Wi-Fi connection that I trust. It hides my IP address and location from the sites I visit, which is critical because I spend a lot of time on the road multitasking, online, doing show prep, researching the latest news. I love that the DuckDuckGo VPN works on browsers and apps across mobile and desktop. Get a 30-day free trial, DuckDuckGo.com/1210, then pay $9.99 a month. Do this. DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Tell them Dawn sent you.
For eligible individuals 18 and older with self-perceived mild to moderate hearing loss only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
Hello, I'm Dr. Harvey Abrams, head of research audiology at Jabra Enhance. Did you know there's a connection between untreated hearing loss and chronic conditions like cognitive decline and dementia? The good news is hearing aids can actually reduce these risks and help you stay connected. Today, I'm excited to tell you about my favorite hearing aids, the game-changing Jabra Enhance Select 500. Jabra Enhance offers an affordable solution for most common hearing problems with our best-ever speech-enhancing capabilities for a mighty sound in a micro-sized package. Plus, with Jabra Enhance's premium package, you get 3 years of continuous remote care provided by licensed hearing healthcare professionals. No waiting rooms or long commutes. It's as easy as video chatting with a friend. Because at Jabra Enhance, our job is to help you hear and be heard.
Save $300 on Enhance Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/radio. That's JABRA Enhance.com/radio. JabraEnhance.com/radio.
Miss any of the Dom Giordano program? Download and follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
All right, it is Dom time. Get on board. Coming up at 1 o'clock, researcher extraordinary Julie Kelly, particularly, she's a go-to person on January 6th. We've been trying to get her on for a while. We've had the Inspector General report about all the, quote, human assets that were involved there with the FBI. Why were they not charged, etc. And it's going to be interesting on day one to see how many people Trump pardons. My prediction is it will not be a blanket pardon. Trump is not going to engage in that stuff. I think it'll be targeted to some of the more egregious cases that are out there around the trials of January 6th. I'll ask her about Lynn Cheney and the GOP saying she ought to be investigated for how she dealt with witnesses. She'll be coming up. I'm not sure if she's on the drone issue or not, but I may ask her. Let's go to Joe in Westchester, Talk Radio 1210. Joe, good afternoon.
Hello, Dom. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you my answer first. What I'd like to throw out is these robocalls I get.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
sure.
I guess everyone gets.
Yeah.
And sometimes they say things that, like one kept coming in every day saying that I owed back tax money to the IRS. And I was, I better get.
Yep.
And I know I used to be an accountant, and with my father, I did a lot of taxes. That the IRS doesn't work that way.
Oh, good
right?
for you, Joe. Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
so anyway,
that is a good one.
but-
Robocalls. Thank you, Joe, very much. We'll put you down for that. That's excellent. That's kind of evergreen. Mike in Philly on Talk Radio 1210. Mike, what's yours?
Hey, Dom. I want to throw overboard people like Dan who refuse to carry cash.
All right. Now, why is that?
Well, listen, my father always told me, keep a little bit in your wallet for when the sun don't shine, okay? Give me the cash. I don't want Venmo. I don't do that kind of stuff. I'm old school. Cash is always going to be king. And why do I want anybody looking at all my transactions and everything like that? I
share your
make
pain,
sense
Mike.
to me.
It fires you up when these guys like Dan.
Oh, my
are
God.
floating
It's
It's so
around.
much more convenient
They
just
think
to
there's going to
bring
be a
out the
Venmo machine in the middle of the
Mike, are you
Echo
aware that they
Expressway.
now allow you just to tap a card to a thing and you can just walk on by?
Listen,
It's great.
And Dan, I'll tell you, I confess I do tap, okay?
So you're a
As
tapper, see?
technologically challenged as I am, but I still have cash, buddy. Okay, I always have.
Wait, hold on a second. I got $17 on me right now.
Always.
Okay, I got $17.
What's $17 going to do you? What if you're in a jam somewhere and you need $50?
Give me a combo meal from McDonald's. Come on.
Mike,
Oh,
you're
my
right. You should
God.
at least always have clean underwear and $50 on you. Just remember that. Could be an accident. Thank you, Mike. I knew you
Inside-out
were going to wear the clean underwear. That's a good one. I kind of like that. We said no people, but you got to admit that was an innocuous one.
Yeah, you could throw
All
me off. Yeah.
All right, yeah, this is coming off the Boston Tea Party, the throw over. What should be thrown overboard? You can go there, and I think they still let you throw the tea overboard, then they pull it back up. It's a lot of fun in Boston Harbor. All right, coming up, we're going to talk with researcher Julie Kelly, activist Julie Kelly, on January 6th. A little bit later this hour, not Mike McCormick, Dave McCormick will stop by. Give us an update. What does he think on this spending bill? And Pennsylvania is so much in demand, there's a fierce battle to be the next state chairman now. That's how big Pennsylvania's gotten. And I think this hour, Dan, is the end of the semifinal round, right?
Yes, they
Of the
do have
Caller
a
of the
couple
Year.
more minutes, Dom, for Caller of the Year. 5 minutes left, but Joe of Columbus, a pretty sizable lead over Joe of Exton, surprisingly. Head to at Dom Show
you got to
12
make a
10 to vote.
quick run, right? At Dom Show 1210. If you want Joe of Exton, give him a little support at Dom Show 1210. Big 1 o'clock hour straight ahead.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust. Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Endurance has paid hundreds of millions in claims. Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-291-1305. That's 800-291-1305. 800-291-1305.
You're driving along when you realize...
Oh, I've got to get over. Oh my gosh, sorry!
You didn't see him, did you? He was in your blind spot. You can also have a blind spot when it comes to your retirement. That's where Joe Yakovich of JML Financial Group comes in. He knows about a little blind spot called taxes. Social Security, your pension, your investments, all can be taxable. Look, you don't want to end up saying,
Will I be writing huge checks to the government when I retire?
Don't get blindsided by taxes. Make sure your retirement plan has a tax plan. With one call to JML Financial Group, 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. Or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company. JML Financial Group does not offer legal or tax advice. Please consult the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Let me tell you about my buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Great guy. Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, or implant dentistry, look no further. Dr. Veneria and his award-winning team, they have your whole family covered, just like mine. Dr. Veneria's office exceeds CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control with centralized UV sterilization of airflow to ensure your safety. Locations right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury, 856-786-2020 or veneriadental.com.
Station WPHT AM, an equal opportunity employer, is dedicated to providing broad outreach regarding job vacancies at this station. We seek the help of local community organizations in referring qualified applicants to our station. Community organizations that wish to receive our vacancy information should contact Lisa Morton at WPHT AM by calling 215-234-2400. In addition, all listeners are encouraged to visit odysseyinc.com/careers for an online listing of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos? Starting now, radio listeners get access to our best last-minute holiday deals from Legacy Box. Get your family's videotapes converted for just $9 and photos professionally scanned for as low as 7 cents each, which is 76% less than what other brands charge. As the world's largest digitizer, you know you can trust Legacy Box to digitize your entire collection of old media. Everything from the embarrassing haircut you had in the 90s to photos of your great-grandma's wedding. Visit legacybox.com/value to get 200 photos scanned starting at just $19.95. Oh, and don't forget, Legacy Box also digitizes over 15 other types of analog media. It's the most meaningful gift you can give this holiday season. Take advantage of this exclusive last-minute holiday offer from Legacy Box. Go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Big issues, big guests, even as we turn toward the holidays. Julie Kelly is one of the most sought-after guests in talk radio, particularly when there is an issue involving January 6th. And this IG report that came out did finally detail the number of all the lingo they're using for FBI people that were there, even if they weren't called by the FBI to be there, and even inside that day. There's that, and there's Liz Cheney in a GOP report coming out in the last few days saying she ought to be investigated. At least President Trump saying this for a while. Others saying that will just give her more power. I don't see that. Now, see if Julie Kelly has any opinion on some of the Trump cabinet members who will be intimately involved with unearthing any number of these things, including deep state. I guess at Julie_Kelly, the number 2, is the best place to reach Julie Kelly. I'll ask her here. Let's go to Julie. Hey, Julie, Merry Christmas. Welcome back to Philadelphia. Thank you for joining us.
Dom, thanks so much for having me on. Hi, Philly. I think this is like the city where I get the most radio requests. So maybe it's I'm from Chicago. Maybe there's like a little correlation there, but I won't talk about Philly fans, sports fans, but
what's that mean?
Yeah, come on, Julie.
No.
But wait a minute, you're believing the national press.
It's the holiday season.
Okay, well, you're believing the national press. I would tell you, I would be critical too. They are. Yeah, some are out of control, but I think New York, my God, there are animals there. So come on.
All right, I'm just going to say I was a lifelong Cubs fan, and you could go to Wrigley Field, and there would be Cardinals fans, or the couple of times we played Boston, and there was this like fun atmosphere. But boy, you knew when the Phillies fans were in town.
Even in town. Well, they do have a thing when they come and take over, in their words, Joy, where it gets tough. Look, Cardinals. That's the Midwest. It's Midwest nice and all that stuff,
But I mean, that's like our biggest rival forever, or even the White Sox, Crosstown Classic, and that's a rough crew too. But it was just a whole different environment with the Philly fans.
All
but
right.
I love you. I love y'all. Don't hold it
All
against
right. Well,
me.
thank you, Joey. I'll tell you where to find Joey after this. You may want to send her a note from Philly fans. But
Hey, you
Julie,
guys are the least of my worries for coming after me. But anyway,
right. Well, out of this IG report, several things jumped out, but then you get into the innards of it. You break it down. You're on Twitter and shows all over the place breaking it down. What do we know now, at least based on this report? What are the takeaways for you?
On the IG report. So this is the Department of Justice Inspector General Michael Horowitz, who, after years of delay, finally released a very thin, I think extremely watered-down report related to an alleged investigation into the use of FBI informants, also known as confidential human sources. Horowitz claiming that there were 26 FBI informants. Now, these are private individuals who are retained by FBI agents to provide information about alleged criminal activity. These are not employees, so that's an important distinction. Anyway, Horowitz claiming there were 26 there in D.C., only 3 of whom were at the behest of their FBI handler, another facet of the report I do not believe. 4 of the CHSs went inside of the building, a federal crime, and others were on restricted grounds, also a federal crime. Nonetheless, none of the CHSs have faced criminal charges. But it does once again confirm my reporting in my book and other places that federal agents' assets were deeply involved before and on January 6th. But there's a lot more digging that needs to be done, and I truly believe my friend Kash Patel, this will be towards the top of his list once he is confirmed as FBI director.
I was going to ask you about that, and I didn't know that about Kash Patel and you. And Kash Patel is going to be hard, Julie, right in the nomination process, in the hearing, because prior to some of his things allied with President Trump and going after the deep state, he held positions that were as mainstream as you get. He held a lot of them at very high levels.
Well, Kash Patel has had a front seat to the corruption of the FBI for nearly a decade. Of course, he was the top aide to Devin Nunes, a California congressman who was the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. And between him and Kash Patel and a few of his staffers, they blew open Visagate, right? So they are the ones who discovered that Fusion GPS and Perkins Coie, working with the DNC and Hillary Clinton campaign, were responsible for the so-called Steele dossier that was used as evidence before a secret court to obtain the surveillance of Donald Trump through his presidential campaign. Furthermore, Kash was spied on by the FBI and DOJ for years. This was another new report that came out by Michael Horowitz confirming what Kash has already disclosed publicly, and that is former Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, one of the dirtiest guys who was there under the Trump administration, used the ruse of seeking out people who leaked classified information to the press to spy on Kash Patel and get all of his electronic documents, including emails, et cetera. Then, of course, he went to work in various positions during the Trump administration. Kash is a former public defender and a former prosecutor. He is excessively smart and knows exactly how corrupt this FBI and DOJ is, which is precisely why there's such pushback to his nomination. But he will be unflinching in his efforts to uncover all of the corruption at the FBI, the politicization of that agency, hold officials accountable, and more importantly, tell the American people the truth, not just about the weaponization of the FBI, DOJ against Donald Trump and his associates, but also now nearly 1,600 January 6 protesters who face federal charges for their participation in the Capitol protest that day.
I'm not sure. I've never heard you speak on this, and I value you so much, but I'll tell you that I think some of these people are guilty of crimes, and I don't think Trump is going to, Julie, do this vast pardon, but it is clear that hundreds, if not more, are guilty of just, or may not be guilty at all, or minimal things that have been wildly overdone. Do you think there are people that should have fairly significant prison sentences from January 6th?
No, absolutely not. And I'll tell you why, and I'll invite you to come with me next time. Unless you've spent any time in this D.C. courthouse where I just left today, I was there yesterday as well. I've spent countless days there. The American people have no understanding of the rigged legal and judicial process playing out in our nation's capital. There's a reason why the DOJ has a 100% conviction rate in jury trials in Washington, D.C. That's not an accident. You are putting Trump supporters, whether they're accused of disorderly conduct, assaulting a police officer, or seditious conspiracy, before juries in a nearly 100% Democratic city. The judges, and I listened today to a Obama judge go on a full-out tirade about Donald Trump planning to pardon J6ers. No one understands how corrupt and rigged and partisan this system is that Trump supporters are forced to go before. So unless you can find me, a former New York Police Department cop, who got in a physical 16-second confrontation with a D.C. Metro cop who was assaulting Trump supporters outside the Capitol and got sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. Until you can find me a comparable case of that anywhere, let alone Washington, D.C., maybe I'll go along with those people shouldn't be pardoned. But there is no equivalence comparison to what the charges that people are facing here, the judges that they have to go before, and more importantly, D.C. voters who have nothing but utter contempt for Donald Trump and his supporters.
Well, we saw it with Watergate. We saw the sentences. We saw how that went down, even though there were crimes. So, Julie, while you're doing all this, and listeners should know, you just said you're in court quite a bit, out of pocket. I know every talk radio host that's worth anything would like to have Julie Kelly on. Have you had time to take a look at the drone situation? And since you probe what government is up to, we value if your sources or you have any sense, I chalk it up to both incompetency, arrogance, and they're going to continue to play this out through the holidays, all the way up until Trump takes over and hopefully tells us exactly what was going on here.
I wish I had time to cover it. I'm literally like running in circles between the IG report and Chris Wray resigning, and then the new report that came out yesterday I asked people to take a look at, and I'll be reporting, and that is Representative Barry Loudermilk's detailed report into the January 6th Select Committee recommending criminal investigation into Liz Cheney. And then, of course, in person, really the only reporter on the right going to these court hearings as the DOJ and federal judges accelerate J6 court proceedings to throw as many people in jail as they possibly can. But that all said, if there's something nefarious about the drone situation and you have someone like, John Kirby out there trying to tell Americans there's nothing to worry about, of course, I believe the exact opposite. So
yeah, exactly.
I'll say that.
I don't get why they think sending John Kirby out there stills the waters. It just gets the juices flowing. The smugness, when he used the word hobbyists the other night, are involved in these drones.
Right.
Julie, Liz Cheney now, the Republican report recommending investigation of Liz Cheney. around this. What would it be that we're investigating Liz Cheney for exactly?
Well, there is, now we have proof of witness tampering. Liz Cheney, deeply involved in communications with Cassidy Hutchinson, encouraging Cassidy Hutchinson to get rid of her first attorney, who was being paid by Donald Trump's PAC, who is giving solid legal advice to Cassidy as to how to testify before the J6 committee. This was in closed-door transcribed interviews. All of a sudden, Cassidy ditches her attorney. She starts communicating with Liz Cheney through their third party, their conduit, Alyssa Farah Griffin. Then all of a sudden, Cassidy Hutchinson's story changed, right? She was just giving basic details about what happened in the White House that day. She was an aide to Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. All of a sudden, we start hearing that Donald Trump tried to strangle his driver on January 6th, right? That he's throwing things in the Oval Office, that he knew that there were alleged weapons at the Ellipse and then at the Capitol. She completely changed her story and then, of course, became the star witness during one of the J6 committee's performances, televised performances in June of 2022. Cassidy Hutchinson's story not only has never been corroborated by the people she discussed, they have totally contradicted her account. They said it never happened. None of these things happened. So not only did Cassidy Hutchinson perjure herself under sworn testimony, Liz Cheney appears to have suborned that perjury with her direct communications with Cassidy Hutchinson. Furthermore, we know that there are volumes of evidence collected by the J6 Select Committee that have been destroyed. That includes the videotape depositions of more than 1,000 witnesses. My hotel is trying to kick me out. I got it delayed checkout, but they're still trying
that's
to get
okay.
me
It's
out
a
here.
deep state. It's a deep state. They got to the hotels.
It's probably Chris Ray. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, so I wish I could spend more time. I have got to
Joy,
run
I appreciate
out of the hotel into the
Have
airport,
a great
but I'll
Christmas.
come back, I promise.
All right. Thank you, Joy. Thank you very
All right.
much. All right.
Take
Julie
care,
Kelly here. I'm sorry about that, but we got the time that we could. You heard what she said around this. And I thought she would say that. I think there are people that did commit acts that deserve jail time on January 6th, but I also think she's absolutely on the money about juries in D.C., about these judges, and what's happened to ordinary people who, at best, would have gotten a warning or a citation or some fine that have gotten just tortured by this, bludgeoned by this. And Trump, on a case-by-case basis, ought to pardon them, any number of them. It's going to take a lot of work to get all the right ones on inaugural day. I think he will do something like that, though. All right, coming up, more of your calls, and we will talk this hour, too, with Dave McCormick. But I love this situation developing with RFK Jr. and raw milk. Now, I'm never going to I don't drink milk much anymore anyhow, and I just don't have any desire. But raw milk is a hot thing. Remember that with the Amish. And here he has a raw milk guy. He has a guy who is wanting to set up a system of control around raw milk to make sure people could still get raw milk, not pasteurize it, but have it as standardized as possible to avoid issues. There is an issue of transmission and what could happen with this. And it's a small thing. I still think food is where RFK Jr. is on the side of the angels. That's what he ought to spend the first year going up and down the line with. It'll be historic. That's the plan. Don't get involved in just everything else. But I'll tell you about this raw milk story that's evolved today. Here's how you get in. 855-839-1210. Coming up, we'll give you the result of the two Joes, too. Joe of Columbus, New Jersey, and Joe of Exton, who won in their semifinal match. We'll set the final with Scott of Mount Laurel and tell you how you vote. All straight ahead on Talk Radio 1210.
There's nothing like Christmas in Cape May, except when the Zeoli Army celebrates Christmas in Cape May together, and that's exactly what we're going to do this Friday, December 20th, at the Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey. We're going to be there from 3 to 7 p.m. Join the fun with family and friends. A great way to start Christmas week and a great excuse to take the day off. So let it be a Christmas miracle this Friday at the Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey, 3 to 7 p.m. for the Zeoli Show Christmas Spectacular.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
Does your broker say, "We're different. We're a fiduciary. We only make money when you make money"? A fiduciary duty puts the investing consumer first before the self-serving interests of the licensed professional. So the reality is, no broker is different. They all collect fees, even when you lose money. Does that sound like a fiduciary responsibility to you? Crash Proof Retirement is the only firm in the nation to record all financial meetings, providing a legally binding guarantee of Crash Proof Retirement's fiduciary responsibility to our investing clients.
Rob Lukens, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania. We saw our portfolio grow 15%. The interest we made through Crash Proof's investments, we keep it. I've actually never seen a fee in my life with Crash Proof. Never, ever in my life have I ever had that with a broker. Pick the phone up, call. It's simple.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn on January 22nd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation, and Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumbers690.org.
Hey, it's Nick with Todd Simon, chairman of Omaha Steaks. And right now, the specials are great at Omaha Steaks for gift giving, and they are amazing. But also for you, you can plan your holiday meals and save right now.
Absolutely, and if you use that promo code Nick, you'll get another $30 off in addition to the 50% off on the website. So lots of opportunity to save and to pick out the very best value for either your own holiday entertaining or to give as an amazing gift. When you go to the website or when you call in, what you're going to see is a bunch of amazingly expertly curated combination packages that include steaks and burgers and seafood and pork chops and appetizers and sides, incredible desserts to kind of round out the whole meal.
Go to omahasteaks.com to get 50% off site-wide in unforgettable gifts and more. And use promo code Nick at checkout for an extra $30 off thanks to our advertiser Omaha Steaks and omahasteaks.com for great savings.
Hey, Percy, we know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Remember to take us anywhere with the free Odyssey app.
All right, welcome in, everyone. Coming to your calls at 855-839-1210. All right, Dan, do we have a result?
That we do, Dom, and it was a not as close as we expected, but it did get closer. Joe of Columbus did indeed take the matchup of the Joes in the semifinal matchup of the Dom Time 2024 Caller of the Year. So, Dom, now we have our championship match of the 2024 Caller of the Year Big Time Finals, Dom, between Scott in Mount Laurel and Joe of Columbus. And, Dom, do you mind if I tell the listeners what we just discussed here?
Yes, go right ahead.
So, Dom, we are going to keep this one open for an extended period here. We've been doing, 12-hour votes, maybe 24 hours recently. We're going to keep this one open until Tuesday of next week.
Oh, my God.
And I tell you this, Dom, why? Because we want to know the answer right before Christmas, but also we want these guys, Scott and Mount Laurel, Joe of Columbus. They are two guys that I think got to where they are not only based on the, gumption of their calls, but also from a campaign that they've seen behind them on social media. Scott in Mount Laurel with, I don't know, is he getting his basketball players to vote for him or what's going on there? And then Joe of Columbus not only being the Dom Show listener, but being a part of the Zeoli Army, employing some of the Zeoli Army to help him. So we have.
He's got a campaign manager. Oh,
he hired a campaign manager for this?
He got a campaign manager. Chris Hippolito, I'm told, by various sources. Yes.
Chris getting involved.
There we go. All right.
So we got two big names with two big social media followings.
So
Scott and Mount Laurel, Joe of Columbus, both fantastic callers, matching up in the finals, Dom, until Tuesday, 2 p.m. is when we'll announce that final winner.
Coincidental, that's when Dan will be back from the morning show and doing other things
that too,
on Tuesday. So there you go. We want him here for that because this could be right down to the last vote, and it'll end sometime in the 2 o'clock hour on Tuesday, the 21st. So go out there, campaign, get people ready to go. I'm excited too. We're going to talk to Joe Columbus. I just saw this, and I wanted to ask Dan and Henry. Mediaite, which we use in the business in talk radio, I wouldn't say it skews fully liberal or anything, slightly, a hair, etc. I know some hosts criticize it. They use it too. You get great sound from them. They have their top 75 from 75 on down as the most influential people in media, of all media. The 75th is that obnoxious woman who interviewed Kamala Harris, who really deserves it. $100,000 for that set. What is it? Who's your daddy? Is it
daddy.
Who's your daddy or who's your mama? Or something?
Call her daddy.
Call her daddy. Yes, go figure that out in the transgender. Call you daddy. My God, $100,000 for that set that was done. Call her daddy is 75th. All right, Henry, who do you think is first?
In media, Joe Rogan.
All of media.
Joe Rogan.
No, he is not. I'll tell you where he is. And
I know who it is.
Who do you say, Dan?
The Hawk Tua girl.
Oh, there you go. Well, you know what? I haven't seen if she's there. I would have to say, I would take the who's your daddy or I'm your daddy over the Hawk Tua girl. Yes. She's better than a Hawk Tua girl. I'm surprised that the Hawk Tua girl didn't interview.
Here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm surprised the Hawk Tua girl didn't interview Kamala Harris. $100,000 on that set. All right, but the point is, I'll give you these. Some of them you don't know, and I don't really know either. I'll give you them in a moment. And does it make the case? Does it make the case? I don't want to go too far, but when I give you the top 10, 20, 30, you hear this, that conservatives have essentially parity in the media now. Could that be the case? Now, it's not New York Times, Washington Post, ABC, NBC, CBS. I'm comparing audiences in my mind, or audiences that are swing voter types. And when you hear the top 10, and I'm surprised either Dan or Henry didn't get the number one here.
It's
we'll
not
see.
The Hawk Tua girl?
No, it's not the Hawk Tua girl. All right. When you hear they're 75, think you can make a case. And rather than you going, that's not true, it's the media, they're all liberal. We ought to be celebrating this a bit. Doesn't mean letting down your guard. But occasionally you ought to celebrate and realize the strides that have been made here to compete with what they do on a daily basis. That's my point. All right, let's go to the aforementioned winner. Now he's really into the big leagues. The other guy's got a campaign too. They're both scheming, dirty backroom deals. Joe of Columbus, New Jersey. And Joe, congratulations. Before we talk about your campaign, give me what you would throw away into the harbor, Joe.
Well, like I was telling Henry, Dom, first of all, good morning.
Good morning,
Dan,
Joe.
Dan, I am not mad at you. You got a special place in my heart, always.
Hey, are you spending $3 million to go on the Hawk Tua podcast to promote
that's right.
your
Is
final...
the Hawk Tua girl going to be calling the show and offering producers something to help Joe with Columbus?
No, I steer clear from her. No way.
Okay.
She's in a bit of trouble anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I can imagine. Let's not go into those details. All right.
There's only one place on this radio show for an attention hog, and you're talking to him right now.
You want to self-admit that when you're in the finals here, though, sir.
Yeah, that's pretty good, Joe. What do you attribute this to?
Well, I got to be honest. I got 3 campaign managers.
Oh man!
And you're gonna love the last one.
Oh, no, it's the Russians. It's breaking up.
Yep. Joe, who are the campaign managers?
Sean, 3 of them. Chris Eppolito, the aforementioned, Sean Lucas, and Susie Cool.
Oh, boy, here we go. The gloves are really
you
off.
You can't be playing this political game. You got to pick one of them. I mean, there's only
yeah,
one
right.
campaign
3 of them
manager.
dangling. What have you offered them?
What
have you offered them if you're caller of the year? What do they get? They're in the cabinet?
They all work well together.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
all right,
are
Scott
the
of Mount
cabinet
Laurel.
positions, though? Like, do we get, like, Secretary of Bloviation from Chris Eppolito or something?
Oh, my God.
Well,
my God. I'd have to...
Scott of Mount Laurel is going to get on the Philly spring training or something. He can't do that. He's got to do something between now and then to get a vast audience.
Oh, he's probably calling up not just his ball players, but trainers and everybody, right?
All right, we have until Tuesday. So, Joe, what's your answer today?
My answer is, and I think I've told you before, my mom, she's been retired for 25 years. She was the superintendent of elections in Mercer County. When they changed over from the old flip lever voting machines to these new ones, she was shaking her head. No, this isn't right. This all happened because of one stinking hanging Chad. And then the mail-in votes came out.
Yes.
And she said immediately, she was like, she came out of retirement 25 years prior, and she said they are going to cheat. So what I would want to throw overboard is these mail-in ballots.
Gotcha, Joe. Great answer. All right, start the campaign.
Let me just put it out there, though. That's 2 calls in a row, 2 days in a row of Joe of Columbus. And Joe's still on the phone with some faulty phone issues, some breaking up there. And, Scott of Mount Laurel is always clear as day when he calls in. So that might put a little points towards Scott of Mount Laurel for some
Watch Dan on this, Joe. He's a mole.
Well, I'm active. I'm on the road. Scott's probably sitting in the office right now.
All right, we'll have the trash talking starting tomorrow here with Joe and Scott of Mount Laurel. All right, Dan. Yeah, what's your serious answer then? What do you say? Who do you say is number 1?
I would have said Joe Rogan. That answer was stolen from me already. I couldn't even fathom the guess because I don't know if anybody is anymore by the vast majority.
Number 1 is Elon Musk.
Okay. Really?
All right.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we have to include social media in media. Joe Rogan, that's a smart guess, is number 2. Number 3, God, boy, they give a long bio for each. Now, look, this is not exactly.
It's a lot of writing.
Yeah. Suzanne Scott, who's the head person at Fox News. 4 is, this is way overrated. Charlemagne the God.
No, number 4?
Yeah, that's 4. Number 4.
Above anybody from Fox? Oh, no,
well, number 5
Suzanne Scott's
is
the CEO of Fox.
Yeah, number 5 is Sean Hannity. All right, I gotta. They put you through all kinds of hoops here. I gotta go on my phone to.
I mean, aren't you pretty close to him on the talkers' most influential list?
Who, Sean Hannity?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not too far. I was number 17.
Yeah.
I was only a few spaces behind. Let me see if I can try.
Where are you on this list,
Dom? While I'm looking here, I haven't seen it yet. That's an oversight. Jake Tapper's 14. That's not true. Jesse Waters is 13. Rashida Jones and Mark Thompson, don't even know them. Oh, they're executives at MSNBC. And Greg Gutfeld's number 11. Megyn Kelly's number 10. I think Megyn Kelly's higher. I think her profile is higher. Bill Maher's 9. 8 is Brett Baer. I put Megyn Kelly over Brett Baer. Matt Drudge still at number 7. He's lost a lot of influence. I wouldn't put him there. Oh, my God. Joe Scarborough and Mika are number 6. That's fraudulent.
Number 6?
Wow. They're number 600, maybe. All right, so those are the top 10.
You see who number 24 is?
Who is that?
Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Alyssa Farrah-Griffin, Sarah Haynes, Anna Navarro, and Sonny Hostin.
I wouldn't put him 24, but I know people kill me for this. We know how bad they are, but The View is played over and over again. People see it. People go on it during presidential campaigns. It's in the top 50, as shocking as that is.
And in media, it's judgment then. Number 24 would be The View. And then similar to that setup where you have a bunch of people sitting around a table, number 19, Steve Doocy gets the list with Ainsley, Bryan, and Lawrence Jones.
Yeah, they're probably there.
Yeah, I do think they're
here's the
definitely more
question.
influential than the View.
Democrats are looking for which one? I have fun with this too. 855-839-1210. It occurred to me they have a guy here on the list. I vaguely know of him. They say should be the liberal Joe Rogan. Look, we know you can't have the liberal Joe Rogan. There's a reason of the Roganism, which isn't conservatism. It's more I don't even know if it's libertarian. It's populist. You can't have a liberal doing that. They've tried that before. I don't think that works, but they're looking for that. Should conservatives be looking for the conservative view or the smart view or the attractive women view or all the above? I called it the clue. And I said we ought to do that in talk radio. And I know 4 women who call in pretty regularly, Lori, Fishapine, and a couple of others, that would be perfect on the clue. Which one is harder to find, the conservative view or the liberal Joe Rogan? Probably the liberal Joe Rogan. I don't think that person exists.
I think they do.
Is it Bill Maher?
No. I think some arguments can be made for like the Young Turks. Like they're crazy they have a crazy, and I don't mean crazy as in like mentally insane, but like a crazy big following.
I don't know they're that big. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see them on here. I'll have to look. Keep looking for my name. Are they up to 1,000 yet? All right. How about 10,000?
1,600. Still not here.
All right. So can you make the argument that by the way, Hannity's 5, Jesse Waters 13, Gutfeld 11. I saw yesterday Fox has the top 12 rated shows across all demographics in cable. Was it 12 or 14? And Gutfeld is number 1 in all of cable in the demo. That is still amazing to me. Just amazing. Number 1 is the 5. I get the 5. I get why that works. 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, all you have to do is push pound 1210. Should we recognize, call it conservatives or call it not liberal, call it populist, call it libertarian. This last election proved some of this, is rivaling what the liberal media is. Now, the liberal media has all the big legacy, all the big money, all the broadcast TV and all that. But talk radio and Fox and social media have put a lot of players in the game now that are starting to rival that, including Joe Rogan, particularly with swing voters. Because the people watching broadcasts that are voting on that and all broadcast news and all, they're not swing voters. The people that are listening to Rogan, though, are. Great number of them. They're low propensity voters. They may be populist conservative, but they don't vote. This time they did. All right, 855-839-1210. Give you a few more of those coming up. Which one is more doable? I mean, if I were the Democrats, I would be trying to find the liberal Joe Rogan. I don't think it's doable. They tried to do this before. It was called Air America. Rachel Maddow, the DeFrock senator from Minnesota, was on there. It was a disaster because talk radio is the revolution against the establishment media. What were they revolting against? All right, let's talk Dr. Bentz for a moment, then we'll take more of your calls here, and Dave McCormick will be coming up at about 1:45-ish. Let's talk about my friend and dentist, board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Dental Group in East Norriton. Now, Dr. Bentz has been my dentist, great care. And part of it that I really like, I like data. I like to see the diagnosis, to buy into it, to get started. I told you, even the simple thing, I didn't use an electric toothbrush till I start talking to him. I'm a contrarian. What am I going to do that for? A water pick? Yeah, I use it twice a day now. He and his staff will help you get involved in your own dental care and get you great diagnosis. It's not just his skill, it's the technology. He's always been on the cutting edge with technology. And the on-site lab, they help him achieve consistent, efficient results that really cement your confidence in this. And his confidence, you're getting it right the first time. It's not a stab in the dark, so to speak, at all. Now, Dr. Benson and his team at the Benz Dental Group provide solutions for the most complex dental cases. Call Dr. Benz at 610-272-6949 or visit benzdentalgroup.com. Remember, maybe you don't want to make an appointment in December. Look at after New Year's. Get off the year start, mid-January, something like that. Make the appointment now, though. Get that great dental care. 610-272-6949.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
For the area's finest dining experience with fabulous cuisine, extensive wine list, and waterfront views of the Philly skyline, visit the River Winds Restaurant in West Deptford, New Jersey. Enjoy entrees that feature certified Black Angus steaks and the freshest seafood while overlooking the Delaware River. River Winds can host your next special event. They'll plan your holiday party, family gathering, or corporate meeting in one of their newly renovated waterfront rooms, each with a private deck. For an incredible dining experience or special event, theriverwindsrestaurant.com.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor. Every Saturday afternoon at 5, I talk with doctors and medical specialists from around the country to discuss the latest information about heart disease, cancer prevention, topics in women's health, pediatrics, mental health, and more. Then you can make better decisions for yourself and your loved ones. Your radio doctor, Saturdays at 5, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, because your health is your wealth.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Weather sponsored by Malvern Retreat House.
Clouds will be on the increase today ahead of our next storm system. Rain develops later this afternoon, so expect a slower evening commute. High temperature up around 54. Tonight, rain ending after midnight, low of around 40. And for Thursday, partly sunny and windy and colder with a high 47.
Weather sponsored by Malvern Retreat House, the nation's largest Catholic retreat house in Chester County, hosting men's and women's retreats, couples retreats, spiritual direction, recovery retreats, and more. Retreat from the noise and hear God's voice at malvernretreat.com.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Privacy online is everything to me. There's too many hackers and scammers out there. People want to know my personal information. I don't want any of that. That's why I subscribe to Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo.com. And here's what I'm going to do for you. We'll give you a 30-day free trial at DuckDuckGo.com/1210. All right? You're going to get 3 things in one: DuckDuckGo VPN, personal information removal, and identity theft restoration. Personal information removal is key. I don't want anybody knowing anything about me on the internet. Nothing. So DuckDuckGo Privacy Pro actively scans and rescans and scans again. It just keeps scanning to find personal information about you and then removes it. That's going to help you combat identity theft, combat spam, It's going to save you time, save you effort. It does the work for you. And it's only $9.99 a month. That's right. You get all 3 Privacy Pro features, one low price, less than $10 a month, and you get a 30-day free trial, but only if you go to DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Sign up today just like I did. You're going to be in good hands. DuckDuckGo.com/1210.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Don't forget to vote in the big contest now with Scott of Mount Laurel, Joe of Columbus. That's up until Tuesday, but vote early, vote often. That's what we advocate. Let me go to Scott in Mount Laurel on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Scott, good afternoon.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Good. You're against a guy with 3 campaign managers.
Yeah, Scott.
Wow, that's big time. I'm like Trump. I run my own campaign.
Did you hear him throw some shade your way there, Scott?
Oh yeah.
I was talking to him and saying that Joe's phone it's been breaking up a lot, and Joe said that he's always on the move, and Scott Mount Laurel's a stationary basketball coach just calling from his office. Can you confirm or deny, or you want to address that?
I don't see how it's relevant, but
it's very political and good answer there. I like that.
Well, Dom, I've learned through Newt Gingrich that I can reject the premise of the question.
That's excellent.
Divert. There you go, yeah.
And I've learned from Trump that I am going to have the most fabulous final round ever. It's going to be totally amazing.
It is tied 50% right now. At
Dom
Show
baby.
1210.
All
Get
right,
there to vote.
we wanted this down. We have to get Linda Kearns involved on Tuesday. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I tell you, definitely. You got to have Linda Kearns a little in election integrity. He's always good. And, and Robert, I want to give a shout out to Robert. Robert from Ben Salem is an absolutely phenomenal caller. I love listening to his calls. I met him, I know I met him at the Rand Paul event. We talked for about probably 15 minutes afterwards, and he is a terrific, terrific guy.
Oh, he is. He is one of the most self-educated people I've ever heard. Just brilliant stuff. When we differ with him, even I start to think, oh, man, maybe I better look that up.
Yeah, that's right. You got to rethink it. Exactly. That's how you know somebody has pretty good insight.
So what's your answer, Scott?
My answer is these dreaded paper straws. And I know in Jersey, I would throw that. In Jersey, they won't even let us have plastic bags at the supermarket anymore. They made them illegal. And I don't know who's making money off that. I'm sure somebody is. But the sad part is you walk around the supermarket and it's filled with all kinds of plastic on everything in the world, but somehow plastic bags is going to ruin the environment.
That's right.
And-
Well, a Boy Scout said we use $1 billion a day or something. He got his merit badge with that. Fallacious. I want to rescind that from that Boy Scout. Joining us, though, is the new senator-elect. I think we go to January 3rd when he gets sworn in, inaugurated, if you will. Dave McCormick with us on Talk Radio 1210. Dave, counting down the days?
Hey, Dom. Good morning. Good afternoon, I said. How are you?
Good. We're great. So
Yeah.
are you all apprenticed up? Are you all through your courses of study of how not to fall asleep in the Senate if there's any droning going on?
Exactly. I'm through the orientation and, now trying to build a great team of people that can, help do the people's business right out of the gates. And as you know, it's going to be a very exciting time to focus on getting the economy back on track and creating jobs and unlocking energy and, of course, securing the border, all the things that President Trump talked about on the campaign trail and I talked about too. And, it's a historic moment. We got a real opportunity, but we got to hit the ground running. So I'm trying to figure out the right people to hire and also the right committees that I'll be on to try to do work that'll affect Pennsylvanians on day one. And that's what my focus is on.
You're being too modest. I see the poaching of the people you've already got and all. Everybody in Pennsylvania is afraid Dave McCormick might be calling. But, Dave, what's happened in Pennsylvania due to you defeating Casey, which is a sea change now? Things are opening up. And Trump winning this. I see a race here, and I believe there's a guy that you back for the state party chair that is exciting again. We actually have real players that want that job. And that indicates what you ran against Casey on. It was subtle, and you and I both agreed, and I think people finally got it. We don't want a backbencher. We want someone in the front in the Senate. Pennsylvania is big time. Casey, aside from other faults, was never going to be that. And now the state chairman is a prized position.
Yeah, well, I think there's just a real opportunity. What happened, and President Trump gets a lot of credit for this, is that we've closed the registration gap for Republicans. We were about 1 million when President Trump won, 1 million more Democrats and Republicans. We're under 300,000 now. And we really had a very successful mail-in ballot effort. We didn't equal the Democrats, but we closed the gap dramatically. And we built a coalition, a working party coalition that put President Trump in the White House and me in the Senate. So we got to continue to build that momentum. And the state party is an important part of that. It needs to have great resources, needs to have great leadership. There's a number of people interested in that post, and we're going to get great leadership there, and they're going to have my full support. And the key, this isn't for me, this is for us, because if we can continue to build this momentum, Pennsylvania will be red, will be the most important state, commonwealth in the country for presidential politics, and we're going to have better government and better solutions to the problem. So I think building that party and supporting it's one of my jobs as the new senator.
Well, without a doubt. Now, one of the things that's brewing, and this morning on Fox and Friends, we had Elon Musk, first of all, tweet, we should not sign off on this continuing resolution. Speaker Johnson making the case, well, Democrats control the Senate, the government's going to shut down. We'll clear the decks for Trump. I hear that, but, our listeners are a bit suspect, as you can imagine, because Republicans have made that argument before. Is it we're captive all the time of Democrats, the media, and the playbook? We don't want to shut down government. They do, but then we get nailed. What are your thoughts as you head into that ring on that?
I read about that this morning, and obviously I'm new to all of this, but there's this 1,500-page continuing resolution, which people are trying to wade through now. It's impossible to even understand what's in it at this point. And, we're at the brink. This is not the way to run a company, and it's certainly not the way to run a government. So the fact that we're here is just, I think, a demonstration of the dysfunction that we have to fix. And, there's blame for this on both sides. And to get to the point where we're forced with these alternatives seems like a failure of imagination and a failure of leadership that just put us in this position. So, listen, I'm not going to wade in on what I would do at this moment, but I think we can all agree that people that are voting on behalf of our constituents in Pennsylvania shouldn't be voting for things that they haven't even had the opportunity to read with such complexity and enormity. You can't sort through them, and we shouldn't be put in a position. Nobody should be put in a position where we're making these kinds of decisions with a gun to our head. So I think it's just evidence of the dysfunction, and it's something that we've got to fix. And listen, with a Republican in the White House, Republican leadership in the Senate, and a majority in the House, there's no one to blame but ourselves from this point forward. And I think we have the responsibility to fix it.
DOGE with Elon Musk, Vivek, have you been in touch with them? Do you have any wish list, any areas where you think are ripe with spending that is got to be brought under control?
Well, I spoke to Elon a little bit about it, but I haven't actually seen their presentation and what their plan is. I know they've met with members in the House and the Senate, but as you know, I'm not quite there yet, so I'm in a transition office. But I love the idea that we're going to have true disruptors, both in the cabinet that President Trump has nominated, but also in the position of leading DOGE with Elon Musk and Vivek. I think it's fantastic because here you have leaders that have demonstrated that they are going to shake things up. And I think that kind of mindset where skepticism on everything, the notion that we have to disrupt, the idea that if we're going to change and we have a risk of changing too much or too little, that we lean into the change and change too much. And we've got stagnation in government, in the administrative state, the bureaucracy, the regulations. And so I think this is going to be fantastic. I don't know what the plan is going to be yet, but the very notion that there isn't going to be a plan and you have people like this who don't need anything other than to try to make a difference or serve is very exciting.
We're talking with Senator-elect Dave McCormick on the Dom Giordano Show. Senator, parting area, Pennsylvania not as much, and as senator, you wouldn't be necessarily, it's more the governor, but we've seen senators weigh in. The drone situation with listeners is out of control, that the government is obviously not telling us more of what they know. We don't want military secrets, but we want more transparency. I'm sure you're talking to people, hearing from people. Any thoughts on that as you head into office?
Yeah, listen, I haven't gotten the intel briefings yet, so I just
right.
know mostly what we all know, but I couldn't agree with you more. We have lost trust. We have all lost trust in government. We've lost trust in our public officials because they don't tell us things that they should and could tell us. And that's clearly the case here. I don't have any insight on what's going on, but it's not business as usual. And the fact that that Department of Homeland Security is trying to play cute with that and not be more transparent is the reason people don't have faith. And this isn't the first time. This exact same thing happened with the Chinese surveillance balloons.
Right.
We still don't have the whole story. This is another situation emblematic of that. And you see the consequences of it because in all the public polling, people don't trust their government anymore. They have no trust in their institutions. And that's, I believe, part of the reason President Trump was reelected. Part of the reason that Republicans were elected to the majority is that people want a change and they want more transparency. They want to build more confidence in their government. This is just another example of where we don't have that. And so I think we need to hold the Secretary of Homeland Security accountable, the Biden administration accountable. And, President Trump's already said that when he gets to office on this and other topics, there'll be a lot more transparency.
Well, you and your wife and family have a great Christmas. Thank you for coming on, particularly in the so-called down season. And we can hardly wait till you're in the office and we get to meet you and continue talking with the listeners.
You got it, my friend. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Dave McCormick, here on Talk Radio 1210. All right, coming up, a lot of people want to get in. What are we dumping overboard? Dan, how is it going at the caller of the year right now at Dom Show 1210?
It is crazy, Dom. It is still 50-50 on the dot. Yeah. You got to get over, make your vote. If you haven't, at Dom Show 1210. It's going to be open until Tuesday, but vote early, vote often. And we got a text message from an election attorney, the prime election attorney who helped secure our election this past election, that being Linda Kearns. Quote, you guys are like Democrats making up election rules as you go along and then asking me to come in at the end and save the day.
What what the heck? This woman, I made her right up there. The local person of the year. She's still going after me.
Yeah. She's
Democrats.
a good lawyer.
Okay, that's fine. Now, I
just want to plug, though, also, Federalist. She just has a new piece out there titled Pennsylvania Case Shows Why Courts Shouldn't Dismiss Controversy When the Election Ends. Go check that out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we definitely want to get her back on tomorrow, maybe, Dan. Put her on the roster, Linda Kearns. And I may have to dust off one of these days my ipso facto. Somebody's got to take her on this.
Well, I think the reason why she has this, pebble in her shoe about you is because you challenged her to that moot court debate and it never followed through. So.
All right. Well, the year is young. We're looking at 2025. Mulligans would be the site, of course. I think Mike Donahue was a judge. I think Mike Donahue always comes to our round table. Yeah. I think he's unbiased, or he might lean my way a little bit. You never know. We could have a panel of judges. Yeah. We can elevate Matt Rooney to a judge. He's a lawyer, after all. And Johnny Z is a judge of whether you're drunk or not in a bar, so he certainly qualifies as a judge. There we have a 3-judge panel. Yeah, we have to work up a debate.
It would be great.
We really should do it with Linda Kearns. But let's get her on tomorrow.
Okay.
To talk about election rules. I don't know that we've said any.
And regarding election integrity, I want to know, is Twitter an okay place to hold an election?
That's right.
Secure?
It's very secure. Get Elon Musk on the phone. All right. I thought I'd ask this question. It just popped into my mind for fun. Since we have 2 guys now that are booking, well, really 2 1/4. I book sometimes if needed, but you got Dan and Henry. Who is it you think they ought to produce in 2025? Dan has never produced Henry, Jim Cheney, Larry Krasner,
the Pope,
Elon Musk,
the Queen,
Pope, Benjamin Netanyahu.
Oh, you said you didn't want the Queen. We had an opportunity.
That's true.
That's right, yeah.
An alien. Let's see. Even though he claims to know some of them or thinks aliens are involved all the time.
I do know a couple.
He hasn't gotten Roe on.
Don't want to come out and talking.
I'm giving my top 10. Yeah, I may have to do the top 10 list tomorrow. You have never gotten Roe on. I did, and it took a lot.
Yeah, that's
to
shocking.
Do it. I know. You have to.
Do we
have
need
to
another
tell
situation where there's a person from Australia who's having a tragic episode?
That's right.
Last time it was a crocodile, Dundee or Hunter. That.
Yeah,
that's why.
That's the last, and it was on a Saturday morning. Dan, she's you can't corral her. We've never heard Maisie. That's a 2025.
Yeah, it was probably better chance that we get Roe on than Maisie, to be quite honest.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Henry, who's on your wish list? Who are you going to book in 2025?
Henry's girlfriend.
Let's set the bar high. Let's go for Joe Rogan.
Okay, you have a thing of that. Okay, Joe Rogan, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes. I think overrated, but I'll get in trouble for that.
Let's get all those podcast hosts on. Let's get Alex Cooper, call her daddy.
Oh,
Haley
talk to
Welsh,
a girl.
Talk to
oh God.
Let's get Lex Friedman on too. He has he makes waves.
Okay. All right, I'm open to any and all.
Bring on that streamer Destiny and
yeah.
I don't know if I could talk about that guy.
I'm trying to think of any local that we've never gotten that we were close. Like Krasner would be. He's running for re-election. He may want to come on and be cheery and tell us, he gets it now.
You think he would? Right. Like I'll try selling it, but I just feel like it's.
Oh my God!
It's a losing effort.
No, really, Larry Krasner's one thing. I would prefer Kenny because I know in the first 30 seconds the gloves are way off. You need a big table between us. That's what'll happen. Krasner, if he cleans the glasses, the gloves might be off with me. If he starts cleaning the glasses, talking to me, that's it. That's out of bounds. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Jump in on any and all here. Let's talk FanDuel, though, first of all, for a moment. FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook, has all your favorite bets from who will win the game to how many points a player will score. Plus, check out newer bets like the number of dunks, assists, or three-pointers in the next 3 minutes. It doesn't matter if you tap into FanDuel before the game starts or after it's already tipped off. You can pick up a W whenever. And now is the perfect time to get in on the action because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom for your chance to score $150 in bonus bets. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Dawn Stensland here. You may have heard I've fallen in love again with Italia. Now I know why Italy is the most revisited country in the world. Join me next spring on the Italian Riviera. Lorenzo and Romina, yes, will be back with us once again. Conservative Tours has crafted an itinerary that is sure to enchant us. Tuscany, the Riviera, the Northern Italian Lakes region, Cinque Terre, and dining events you'll write home about. 5378, yes, that includes your airfare. Pisa, Michelangelo's Florence, and the fashion capital of Milan. Call toll-free 888-733-9494 or go to conservativetours.com. Luxury hotels, a Mercedes coach, and a tour leader who is absolutely the best. That is Conservative Tours in Italy. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Charming Siena, home to Il Palio, the medieval Manhattan, San Gimignano, Modena, Lake Como, Vernazza. Join me next spring in Italy. I'll see you in Portofino.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Get rid of those flimsy tablets and slow computers and get your team the game changer and point-of-sale solutions for restaurants, casinos, and bars, PDQ POS. Their state-of-the-art technology ensures that transactions are swift, secure, and hassle-free. PDQ Signature Systems is not just a POS system, it's a complete business management solution. Join the thousands of companies that have made the switch and upgraded to a customized POS solution from PDQ Signature Systems. Visit PDQPOS.com.
It's the 12 days of savings at Spring Dance Hot Tubs. From December 12th through 24th, every day brings amazing deals. On the first day of savings, Spring Dance gave to me up to $5,000 off a hot spring grandee. On the second day of savings, Spring Dance gave to me new auto ship for all water care with no shipping fee. On the third day of savings, Spring Dance gave to me savings up to $2,500 on our sauna floor model clear-out sale. The 12 days of savings only at Spring Dance Hot Tubs. Visit springdancehottubs.com for more deals.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
me! That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Tomorrow's show, we'll be here tomorrow. And you may not remember her name, but remember the volleyball player smashed with a kill shot by a male trans opponent? There's a documentary out now, and the line that she says, "If only my rights had been more important than a man's feelings." Riley Gaines, I think, says that every time she's on some way or another, and I think Paula Scanlon says it even more. Now this young woman, her first name's Peyton, she's the one that was severely injured, had to give up sports because of this kill shot. A documentary coming out, New York Post had an exclusive today, and we have her tomorrow, we think, or sometime in the near future. It looks pretty good. And I really want to drill down on this, even though I don't think safety is what I would lead with. I've said this many times in this whole trans thing, although there is that. It's the issue of the robbery, the invasion of women's sports. And what kind of person, what kind of gymnastics do you have to go through? Like a Josh Shapiro, who apparently is competitive in basketball. Love to find out about that. How in the world does he square that? He's just a political animal. That's how he squares it. And his mind right away goes, I'm going to call people like us. These people are just being mean. How mean of you. How just despicable to go after trans children. We're not talking about kids in second grade playing soccer together. We're talking about competitive young women, usually at the high school level and up, who want to compete in whatever their sport is, maybe win a scholarship or at least the thrill of competition. And we don't want to have to deal with people who are mediocre and then decide that they're gender fluid or whatever I don't even want to know what their rationalization is. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm not going to debate that. There is no debate. So yesterday, Josh Hawley, who I'm not a fan of, but John Kennedy I am. This is cut 11. Here is Senator John Kennedy. And thank God, when I spoke one time where he was on the bill, Dan, I didn't have to follow him. I mean, I had to deal with the Dr. Oz event at the NAC with a woman who calls in as a listener, fainting in front of me, and they cut my time. But Kennedy followed me, and I think he used all that in what he was talking about. Here is Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana grilling the NCAA president over the fact that they are exhibiting no leadership in stopping this nonsense.
A transgender woman is a biological male. Is that correct?
Yes.
And a biological male is always going to have a physical and a physiological advantage competing in a collegiate sport against a biological female. Isn't that true?
There's not a lot of research on it, but it's certainly debatable.
You think it's debatable?
I think it's debatable.
You don't think? Think that a biological male has an advantage every time competing against a biological female? Is that your testimony?
No, I think defined the way you defined it, yes, I would agree with you.
So you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay. So why does the NCAA, why do you, your job is to promote fairness in collegiate sports. Why do you support allowing transgender women who are biological males to compete against non-transgender biological females?
Over the course of the past 2 years, 5 federal court cases involving this question. Let me finish. 5 federal judges have all sided with participation as the standard. This is a very...
So you're saying you don't have a choice?
I'm saying that under the current dynamic, there is not clarity on this issue legally.
Well, why don't you exhibit leadership and demonstrate leadership and provide clarity? If you agree with me,
well, first of all,
that the purpose of the NCAA is to promote fair competition, and if you agree with me that in every single instance a biological male is going to have an unfair advantage over a biological female, then why don't you just say, look, in America you can be whomever you want to be, but in terms of fair competition in a collegiate sport, transgender women who are biological males are not going to be allowed to compete against non-transgender women who are biological female. Boom, done. Why don't you take that position, Charlie?
Because federal courts have already taken the position that they do have the right to compete.
All right. Again, you said there was a lack of clarity here, okay? So which one is it? On and on and on it goes. It is a loser. Talk to all kinds of people that are sharp on this as far as the politics of it. It is a tremendous loser on the other side. And, you know, the more people get upset, that's good. Continue to get upset. We talked with someone, Dan and I, yesterday, who'll be on the show in the near future, about how their focus of this group is going to be school boards on issues like this. All-out focus, going after them on this, clarity in 2025. The laws are clear, at least in Pennsylvania. And they do have the power. They just want to muddy the waters in their mind and tell people they don't, like percocy in the bathrooms and all that stuff. They have the power here. However they want to fudge it. I think that was the point of Kennedy. All right, let me go to Alan in Yardley. Not a male, but one of our candidates is top caller of the year on Talk Radio 1210. Alan, good afternoon.
Hey, Dom. Thanks for taking the call. First, I just want to tell you how flattered I was to be in the expanded 12-person bracket for caller of the year with so many wonderful callers. I really
Well, you deserve it, Alan. Thank you very much. Yeah. And the expanded 12 was good. I don't know if we go beyond 12. Then it starts to be diluted. But 12 it is.
Yeah. And the excitement of the whole thing just, I think, is a testament to you and your staff, you know, Dan, Henry, your way to connect with your listeners. It really kind of showcases that. It's been a lot of fun. But I have to say, the bracket has turned into madness.
Wait a minute. We need another minute-by-minute update here. Dan, what's happening?
First off, Alan, I want to know, who would you have endorsed had you had the chance to prior?
Yes.
In the entire tournament, is there someone that you would have endorsed?
Oh, do I have to say that?
Well, I think
you
it might
have to.
Could edge some people.
It's so difficult. There's so many great candidates that are great for so many different reasons.
Really playing the fence there.
Yeah, really political answer there.
Yeah. There's too many good ones.
All right. Yeah, no, I get that. So in the final, Dom, we have Scott in Mount Laurel taking on Joe in Columbus, and Dom is close as ever. Scott in Mount Laurel, 52.2% to Joe in Columbus's 47.8%. That's at Dom Show 1210. The finals out there right now. And again, those go until Tuesday at 2 p.m. where we'll announce the 2024 Caller of the Year.
All right, and Linda Kearns tomorrow on the rules of this. So, Alan, what's your answer today? Go ahead.
What? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just gonna. What do you have that you'd like to dump into the water?
Oh, on the heels of your, last testimony, DEI ideology. Dump it.
Yeah, it's and I'll make this prediction. It's not going to be as hard as we thought. We already see a lot of people reneging on it after the Trump election. Colleges will be where the battleground is. They're going to be tough, but by and large, it's being eradicated.
There are people clinging onto the side of the ship, but just peel their fingers off and dump them in the water.
All right. Thank you. Nicely played.
That's why we had her up there.
Well, wouldn't give us an answer,
Doesn't
though,
try,
there
she
on the
proves it good.
candidate. She could have gone with fellow female Fisher Pine Leslie or Robert Ben Salem. Or
I was expecting a
somebody
Joe
could-
Exton endorsement. That's why I asked.
Yeah, exactly. All right, he hasn't called in yet today, but Robert Ben Salem will be here. But first, it is time for...
Oh, man, I'm so invested in this, I don't even have the theme ready. Here it is.
Okay.
Gosh.
Well, let me give you what we're playing for. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay, today we're playing for a $50 Metro Diner gift certificate, perfect for your next holiday gathering. Metro Diner is serving up their Heat and Serve holiday feast to go with roasted turkey, baked ham, paired with all the fixings that serve a party of 1, 4, or 8. It's a great spot, and it's $50. So, Dan, what do you have?
Yeah, Dom, I've been going back and forth on today's clue, and I'm actually going to settle on my first one. I figured let's get something related to Boston as we're, shipping up to Boston and throwing some tea over the ledge. And Dom, this group really impresses me over and over again. I don't want to give much away besides I think their target audience is a a very young demographic, Dom. So take a listen to this cover of a song by a band that hails from, you know what, another clue, Australia. We want to know what the name of this band is here, covering Shipping Up to Boston really well, in my opinion. So this band, Dom, again, target demographic of pretty young, I'll put out there, hails from Australia. We want to know who it is covering Shipping Up to Boston there. 855-839-1210.
All right, and just push pound 1210. It's a free call. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. Get in and get that $50 gift card. And more of your calls coming up on Talk Radio 1210.
Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
These unidentified drones that are flying over New Jersey, they're saying they should declare some kind of a state of emergency.
Here's a marketing idea. I know yesterday was the sales day, so this probably won't be heard for another 6 days. We need to have a Kalen Company drone watch party.
Oh, boy.
We gather wherever these are. We'll go to Jersey, get Mulligans on the line. Yeah. We're all going to sit outside, put the fire pits on. We'll have some drinks, and we'll watch drones.
Johnny Z, are you listening, buddy?
Let's go.
Open up Mulligans. Let's do this, buddy.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future. And that way, you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415. Or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
At the Acura Season of Performance event, every car is ready to match the energy of winter. Own the mountain roads with available super handling all-wheel drive in the TLX, RDX, and MDX. And power through the storm with the all-electric ZDX's flexible charging packages. Own the energy of the season at the Acura Season of Performance event going on now. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Visit Piazza Acura in Ardmore, Reading, or Westchester today.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, at Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
It's officially the merry season, and B101, Philly's official Christmas station, is your home for holiday music. Spinning the biggest and best festive tracks all day long, now through Christmas Day. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Get your holiday fix on the radio at 101.1 FM. Ask your smart speaker to play B101 Philly, or listen on the go with the free Odyssey app.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
It's Dom Money Melody.
has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
All right, looking to go to the Metro Diner, great $50 gift card. Just tell us who's covering this classic song.
Bring the kids, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's try Dan in Fleetwood, and Dan's on Talk Radio 1210. Dan, who's covering that song?
Dropkick Murphys?
No.
They sound like Dropkick
They do.
Murphys.
It sounds pretty
Yes,
accurate,
yes.
right? Yeah,
Pretty
it's pretty
accurate.
cover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not the OG. They're actually a cover song, and I'll tell you some more information about that in a second.
Exactly. It's a cover song. Joe in Ocean City. Joe, who's covering the song?
I'm out, too. I was going to say Dropkick Murphy. I'm a loser.
Nope.
All right,
sorry.
Thank you, Joe. All right, another clue time, please.
I think the lead singer here is Captain Feathersword. You might hear some appearances from Wags the dog and Dorothy the dinosaur,
Give
too.
it away, why don't you?
All right, let's try Brian in, I don't know. I don't want to go through too many. Let's go Brian in Souderton. Brian, who's covering the song?
Hey, Dom, is it the Wiggles?
All right, nicely played. I'm
There you
just
go,
amazed that people have information like that. Brian, $50 gift card. A little bit more of the backstory, Dan.
Yeah, so real quick, that is the Wiggles. They hail from Australia, covering their great album, Re-Wiggle. Check it out. But Dropkick Murphy's version is technically a cover version because the original writer of that was actually Woody Guthrie. His daughter, Nora, invited the guys from Dropkick Murphy's over to check out the archives, and while thumbing through there, Woody had a bunch of songs written. It was about 6 lines. I'm shipping up to Boston, and they took those lines, turned it into the song. So somewhat of a cover song originally written by Woody Guthrie. Dom.
All righty. 855-839-1210. We'll have that card again tomorrow around the same time and probably Friday. Then we'll have new stuff next week. But jump in right now. Hey, I mentioned this a little while ago. There's going to be a lot of controversy around Robert Kennedy Jr. and what he does. Again, I realize the power Kash Patel could have if he's the FBI director to turn things around. And I don't see in that anything that Patel is going to do, at least as of now, that is going to get me to oppose it. All right? He could do something. I mean, I'm going to call them as I see them, but I don't see it. Kennedy Jr., there's a lot of good here. But President Trump said, and then Kennedy Jr. yesterday said, no, we're not going after the polio vaccine. All right? Because I'm already a bit tired of hearing some of these scolds about the polio vaccine. But something that's going to be really interesting to see how we take the freedom to ingest something and also maybe make it safer. RFK Jr., you know about the raw milk stuff, too. I've never had anybody call in and say they're a fan of raw milk per se, but I do know and believe that you should have a right to ingest this, and the Amish farmers, etc. We've seen how that played out in Pennsylvania. So you should have a right to make that decision. There could be some repercussion that could affect everybody coming out of that. But Kennedy Jr. has a guy named Mark McAfee who says he's up for the challenge to allow raw milk consumption, but to do it in a way to set some standard. So it's going to be, to me, this is an interesting approach of freedom, but also trying to come up with a standard and tell people those that meet the standard and those who don't. Not pasteurizing it. Then it wouldn't be raw milk. We hope to get them on. And I just find excitement here with RFK Jr., but I'm not going to back down from people that are nutbags and say nutbag thing. I'm not going to be pushed around by saying, well, why can't we question this? You know, depending upon the circumstance. With some, it's like questioning gravity here. You're only questioning it because you've made up your mind on some nutbag theory, and you're wedded to it. You're not questioning anything. You're going to nutbaggery. So, to me, take it somewhere else, because I don't want to see RFK Jr. And tell me if you agree with this. You realize we're on a roll here. He's going to come roaring in. I want him to be able to win. And the win, as I see it, is stuff like this guy and what I just told you, a way of approaching this, It's also big food. Now, there are going to be these Republicans from agriculture states. You know, you're wondering where does some of this opposition and keep ultra processing in. They're already trying to deep six RFK Jr. They're Republicans, too. They're protecting various things they think he's going to go against, and I'm on Kennedy Jr.'s side on this. But I'd love to hear that. Are we in agreement on that? Or do you say, nah, I want him to go after the polio vaccine? Based on what all of a sudden? Just think of how long this has been around. Let's not, from COVID, where deep reform is necessary, and we see more and more evidence every day. My area of expertise would be education. I see the evidence. I talk about it all the time. What happened to kids here during this with the schools being shut? Kids that some of whom were already mediocre, let's face it, or bad in what they know. It's horrible now. And I don't think big school has had the urgency to make this up. So you're on the side of the angels. People are going to flock to this on the issue of ultra-processing, over-processed foods. We told you the tallow seed oil thing with McDonald's, for example. We had a lot of reaction on that. Go with that. Let's not go fringe here. But you might be on the other side. And I don't understand the purpose, getting your jollies at it. Isn't this about securing here some wins that might continue even after Trump against some of these entities? I wouldn't say they're poisoning American food, but are making it more difficult for Americans. In other words, you really have to search out, bypass this stuff. And some people either, are busy with so many things they don't have the wherewithal and money maybe in order to bypass that. Let's go with that. I don't want to hear about fluoride in the beginning, and certainly not polio vaccine. And RFK said he's fine with the polio vaccine. That also indicates that Trump is setting up the guardrails here. Now, that doesn't mean if he takes over, if he gets through, he's not going to have somebody looking at this. Fine. The main course, though, isn't it there? Isn't that enough? Isn't that something existential that has to be corrected? That he really could plow ahead with? You start going off on this, though, and you're going to dislodge a lot of support. You're going to diminish it, and you're not going to achieve a goal. These people are top players, the interest that are ultra processing. But this raw milk is an example. Yes, I think Americans should have the right to do this. But could you do it where there's not as many risk factors? That's what one of his top lieutenants is talking about. So I'm going to try to see if we can get him on, because hearing that sort of approach, I think, is exactly what would be his legacy. It makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm not going to be the captive of people sending me every nutbag in the world. This is their time to do this. I'm not going to be defeated by nutbags. We have the momentum now, and we're going to score, and score big for the American people. Let me go to Gary in Newtown. Gary, you're in on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Gary, afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Dom. Hey, Dan. Hi, Henry. So I was going to go, I'm still going to go with it. I was going to ask for a reprieve and go with something different based on listening to Senator McCormick. But I'll go with my original. And I would say, I know that if I went into a store and I stole something that was less than $999, or if I had a gun and it was illegally obtained, I would definitely be in jail. So I'm really tired, and I think the double-sided or double justice system should be thrown overboard.
Oh, yeah. Well, exactly. I have high hopes that we're going to be able to do that. And I also would tell you, Gary, I think Biden's going to pardon a lot more people. He's just waiting for that dump maybe on Christmas Eve or something like that. That's what he's going to do. And the more he does it, it'll be infuriating. But it helps us to make the case that you're making here.
Thank you, Dom.
Thanks, Gary. Good choice. Yeah, definite choice. I think Pam Bondi's going to do a lot also. Pam Bondi's a perfect combination of provocative but inside the system. Excellent choice for Attorney General. I think she's going to be a star. The one I think is the best suited, though, still I maintain that, with the job is Elise Stefanik. If she can't get 100-0, but they won't do it because they had to vote against, somehow or another. They'll raise some objection. It's like the Hall of Fame. Can't have 100% no matter what. What a bunch of, that ought to be an easy one. But are you with me on RFK? That there are elements here that are layups in the mind of the public. It's just dislodging these people that are benefiting by them. The raw milk thing, I don't know. If we have anybody that's a raw milk fan, I don't know why. Is it taste? Is it health? Is it something? You ought to be able to make that decision. But what I'm saying is he's got a guy that will offer that while also performance standards around it. Shouldn't we be doing that with all this stuff rather than getting off on people hear the drumbeat of the wild stuff now with Kennedy Jr.? Polio vaccine would be one of them. So 855-839-1210. I'm not going to be lectured to by any of these people, too. I mean, I've had some of these people sending emails and all kinds of things. Stop it already. Doesn't work. No sale. Go somewhere else. We got big fish to fry. Here's the chance of Kennedy Jr. actually doing something. We'll look up 4 years later. We'll go, wow, what a sea change. Americans healthier again. There's a shot at it. Hey, happy holidays to all. It's a perfect time to talk about Rescue Natural Supplements and their Deck the Hall sale. Right now, you can save up to 78% off on exceptional natural supplements for every area of your health, from essentials like omega-3s, probiotics, cholesterol support, natural pain relief, and more. And the best part, over a dozen health-boosting rescue products are marked down under $20. Get started or stock up today. Call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. With Rescue, you can reinforce your immune system, boost energy, and reach your health goals. Again, there's no code needed to save up to 78% site-wide. So get a head start on your health. Visit res-q.com. Do it today.
Clouds will be on the increase today ahead of our next storm system. Rain develops later this afternoon, so expect a slower evening commute. High temperature up around 54. Tonight, rain ending after midnight, low of around 40. And for Thursday, partly sunny and windy and colder with a high 47.
Weather sponsored by Budget Blinds.
It's the holiday season. Budget Blinds is your one-stop for blinds, shades, shutters, custom drapery, and motorization. Visit budgetblinds.com for a free in-home consultation and the only no-questions-asked warranty in the business. Schedule your holiday consultation. Ask about their special radio offer.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I love this song! I love nachos.
Loving everything? You might be buzzed.
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. You know how important online privacy and security is these days. That's why I subscribe to Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo. It's a 3-in-1 subscription service, and it includes DuckDuckGo's VPN, personal information removal, and identity theft restoration. That's 3 features for the price of 1. Right now, we're able to offer you a free 30-day trial at DuckDuckGo.com/1210. I discovered DuckDuckGo years ago. It's an independent browser, search engine, millions use it, and now you can get an extra layer of online protection with the DuckDuckGo VPN. It secures your Wi-Fi connection anytime, anywhere, home, work, abroad. Yes, when I travel to Italy, I'll be using it, and it's so easy to use. Connect in just 1 click in the DuckDuckGo browser, and I check my VPN status at a glance. Get a 30-day free trial at DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Then you pay $9.99 a month. Do this. DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Steel holiday savings are here. Find the perfect gift at your local Steel dealer or shop the Steel Holiday Gift Guide at SteelUSA.com.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in, everyone. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Let's go to Robert in Bensalem. He's in on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Robert, afternoon.
Hey, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys. Did I hear you say Alyssa Farrah Griffin mixed up with Liz Cheney, Dom?
No, I did not say that, but that's what's out there.
That she was the middle person?
Now, I don't know if Julie Kelly said that, but yes, it's all over the place that she was the middle person. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Me neither. The plot thickens, Dom. Before I get to my side answer, I just wanted to return Scott's graciousness. You know, I hope he wins the contest. I always enjoy his calls. And Earl kind of inspires me to write again. Scott inspires me to remember to be bold when you go out in public and state your mind, and people will respect you for it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and that
absolutely.
tied in when he did that appearance on the Phillies game, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, Robert, I'll give you something, though, that the thought I'm telling you as I'm thinking here on the show. I saw Rand Paul, who I'm a big fan of, obliterate Speaker Johnson on this whole thing of this CR approach and saying the dollar is going to be harmed by this. And every time I hear a statement like that, I think of you.
He's absolutely right, man. I'm not sure what Mike Johnson is thinking this close to the transition of power. I don't know why he needs to do something that could be done in 55 days. You know what I mean?
Well, the argument is always going to be, even though I'm on the other side, I'm with you on this, if they do it, they're going to shut down the government. They still control the Senate. Every time they do that, they win. We don't want to come in without a winning spirit. On the other hand, Elon Musk says, no, we're going to fight it out, and there's no way we should be doing this. They don't even know what's in it.
Exactly, but I'm saying, what are we going to win by going along with them this close before Congress? You know what I mean? I don't see a win here for him. That's why I'm confused by it.
Well, he's saying we're not going to lose. We won't lose momentum because you won't have the government shut down.
I hear you, but we'll see about this. And I like Mike Johnson, and I have hope for him, but he needs to buck up a little bit and remember that we're in a war. You know what I'm saying? And you need to fight it and not play along with these clowns.
What is determinant is, let's see if Trump goes on the record saying something. Haven't seen it yet.
I don't. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't, just because he doesn't want to undermine Johnson before he works with him. But we'll see about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I'm at the risk of. I really hope I'm not stepping on somebody's toes here. But my miscreant brother said his answer was his wife's credit cards, which I thought was really funny. But at any rate, I am going to go with woke corporate boards, and I really long for the day when we can turn them into woke corporate overboards. You know what I mean?
Oh, nicely
played. You guys have yourselves a great day.
Thank you very much. Hey, when he mentioned that with the credit cards, Dan, since I was going to do this tomorrow, but I'll give you the first shot here, and we'll remember it tomorrow. This needs a little bit more time. I told you this big survey, New York Post, on women talking about what is an ick factor with guys. And they said, thank God, flip-flops. I couldn't agree more. I just can't imagine a guy in flip-flops.
Oh, come on.
I would not date a guy in flip-flops. That's
beautiful,
promo material. There you go. Yeah. Anyhow, they also said paying for dinner or paying for something with a debit card. And that I cannot break down and understand why that versus Robert just said a credit card. Why is a woman turned off if you're paying with a debit card?
Because you're not building credit. It's that simple.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think it's a good sign because it shows that you got like money in the bank account, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Women want to see that you're building towards a future or something.
Oh, my
so
God.
you got to build that credit. Build something up.
So, Henry, you have no debit
credit card.
You have no debit card, right, Henry?
I do have a debit card. I just don't use it.
Oh, you wouldn't use it in front of a woman.
I use credit. Yeah, I always use credit.
I feel like if I'm always whipping out the credit card, it gives the impression that I'm, drowning myself in debt.
No,
yes.
the points.
Exactly. No, you're drowning yourself in debt. You're trying to say, I'll pay that off when I get to it.
Hey, no, I pay it every month. I'm good. I'm responsible adult.
Maybe you'll have to produce on dates your credit statement. I mean, we need a woman's opinion on that. What world is it? If I were a woman, I'd say the guy has no cash on him. That's an ick factor. Give me a break.
I carry cash too. Don't worry.
All right, good. So it's directed toward Dan.
Hey, Dom, can I just also underline some cachet that Robert slipped into his call there about Scott and Mount Laurel, who's competing in the Caller of the Year contest? So he mentioned the Phillies broadcast, and if you're just tuning in this past year, you might not know what he's talking about there, but Scott and Mount Laurel, he's a charity contributor, and occasionally he gets to sit in the booth and do some Phillies broadcasts. And at one point during the show's history, there was...
I don't care how he does it. I just want to put this out there. I want you to fit in the word antelope at some point. Just as like a antelope.
And he called John Kruk running like an antelope to third base, right?
Center cut. Gotta expect that to get hit hard at some point.
First pitch to Lopez was a strike. Now, also that year, John, you stole 7 bases. Did you know that? And you didn't get caught once. You ran like an antelope.
John Kruk. Thinking, what the hell?
He's so good.
No, he was still thinking, how did John Kruk steal 7 bases? Come on.
So if you want to vote for Scott Mount Laurel, who brings the Dom Show, and there's another time that we said fit in Dom time, and he's talking about Dom Brown, former outfielder with Kruk, and slipped in. Yeah, that year it was Dom time, and fantastic stuff from Scott Mount Laurel at Dom Show 1210 to cast your vote for Caller of the Year. Scott is one of the 2 in our finals against Joe of Columbus.
I interviewed Dom Brown when we used to go down to the state, and I wish you guys were on that trip. Oh, my God. The things you had to do when you're in the locker room. I once sat in Raul Abanya's chair because I was interviewing Jimmy Rollins or somebody, and I wasn't going to stand there. It was awkward, so I sat down. Oh, man, I thought I was going to be house-steered forever. Raul's chair you sat in.
I still see Dom Brown around in town.
Do you?
Yeah. Big dude.
He's got a great first name, but, maybe it would have been better if it were Don Brown. Mystery of that guy. What was it, 22 home runs or some crazy number?
That first half in 2013, he was unbelievable.
And then not so much after that.
That season was very reminiscent of the Philly season we just had. Awesome before the All-Star break afterwards.
Yeah. All right, we'll get a lot more of your calls. It is the lightning round coming up here. Tomorrow we have Sean Spicer on. He's important because he was fired by the Biden administration for kind of a honorary job. And apparently the courts ruled that you could do that, indicating Trump can do that with a lot of firings that you're going to see. And we'll talk to him about everything else going on in the news. 855-839-1210.
Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Luigi's not getting any Swedish fish in the joint. Luigi has for breakfast a choice of fruits, grits, bread, eggs, and coffee.
We have to remember, as these dummies on News Nation are like, hi everybody, there's a person dead. It's again this idol worship. Do you guys see him? Is he watching? Like they're giddy schoolgirls. Ugh.
Goes back to the big take this morning, the violence of the left, the irrelevance of the media.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
This school year, make the most of it for your child or grandchild and make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Give your student all the tools they need for a great school year. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Help your students start strong. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
I'm Jalen Hurst here for Window Nation. If you're a fan of saving money, listen up.
Right now, save 50% on all window styles, plus a bonus 10% off and 0 interest for 6 years. Hurry, sale ends December 31st. Call Window Nation today to schedule your fast, free in-home estimate or visit windownation.com.
Don't pay more than you have to for new windows. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Attention December holiday shoppers. TurnersvilleJeep.com is celebrating holiday deals all month long. Wranglers, Grand Cherokees, Compasses, and Ram trucks as low as $269 per month at TurnersvilleJeep.com. Example 2024 Jeep Compass. VIN number SD505785. 4-cylinder auto, power steering, power brakes, AC, MSRP 33840. CEL. Payments of $269 a month for 42 months with $45.99 due at inception. TOP 16166. 7,500 miles per year. Residual 18,950. $595 acquisition fee. Tier 1 credit through Stellantis Financial. Includes $4,000 in rebates. Price includes all costs except for licensing costs, registration fees, taxes, and $599 doc fee. Offer not valid with trade-in. Ends 1/2/25.
It's time to cut your old point of sale system and revolutionize your business with PDQ POS. Joe Flynn and his team at PDQ have been the industry leader for over 35 years. They offer everything from mobile POS to self-service kiosks and the best service and support in the industry. For the fastest, easiest, and most reliable POS available, trust PDQ POS. No matter how many locations you have, they'll build a custom solution for your business. Visit pdqpos.com.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Let me tell you about my buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria, the dental implant master. Implant dentistry is an art form, and as one of South Jersey's top implant dentists, Dr. Mike gives you the self-confidence boost you deserve. Schedule your free implant consultation today. Dr. Veneria's office exceeds CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control with centralized UV sterilization of airflow to ensure your safety. Locations right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury, 856-786-2020, or veneriadental.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
And here's the 1-2 pitch. And that's a ball, 2-2. And, you know, so many times in the past we've had prospects coming up, you know, that we thought they were going to be great. Like Dom Brown came up, had a great month, and we're all like, hey, this is going to be Dom time for the next 10 years.
Nicely played, Scott of Mount Laurel. Boy, we got to get some cuts of Joe at Columbus in there because Dan might be stacking the deck here to the greatness of Scott of Mount Laurel.
I don't know, man. It's a lot of history there with Scott, and we got a new caller here in Joe, who's got a team behind him. So
yeah. Henry's at the controls tomorrow. We'll see where he leans. I'll give the judgment that. What's the score in the lightning round at Dom Show 1210? The vote for caller of the year.
55.9% for Joe of Columbus versus 44.1% for Scott in Mount Laurel.
Joe of Columbus has these mysterious surges. Suddenly tight, then all of a sudden he's ahead and not
using
looking
bots.
back.
Is he paying bots?
He's got bots.
Are the Russians? Where's my music? Is Putin involved? Is it China? Is it the Iranians? Yes.
A little late there, Dan.
Is
Sorry.
Putin in there? Is Putin involved? Linda Kearns will get to the bottom of this tomorrow. I'm sure she's on it right now. A lightning round is sponsored by Cherry Hill Volvo. Right now, lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. See store for details. They always go the extra mile for their customers because relationships matter at Cherry Hill Volvo. By the way, Elon Musk threatening big-time primaries against those that vote for this bill. And it does have, I'll get into it more tomorrow, congressional raises, more benefit in their health care, snuck into the bill. Don't vote for it, right? We'll see. Let me go to Dave in Levittown. Dave, what's your answer today, Dave? What are you throwing overboard?
Dom, I'm throwing over red light cameras, every single one.
That is very good. You know, that's still one of my all-time things on the show, red light cameras, big time. Mark in Philly on Talk Radio 1210. Mark, what are you throwing overboard?
I'm throwing over Crocs.
Yeah,
you know the shoes?
Yo, sure. Yeah, I would too. I think they might be as bad as the flip-flop. It's hard to judge.
So there's a reason they call it flip-flop. You're either going to flip or you're going to flop you wearing them.
Okay.
It used to be, Dan, in the summer at the station, women wearing them and the flip-floppery on the rug all day long.
You know, like the clicking of the sandal hitting the back of the heel?
A nice high heels, you can do any noise you want. That's fine. That's a nice sound. Earl of Tacony. Earl, what's yours today?
Real quick, I said I wasn't going to endorse, but I feel almost compelled now. I'm a huge fan of reciprocity, and I'm going to go with Joe of Columbus. I mean, he called me the second coming of Weird Al Yankovic. Granted, I've never played the accordion, but my mother did. So I'm going to be throwing my weight behind him.
Now, is that antagonism left over last year? Scott of Mount Laurel was right there on your coattails. I spy that, a little reciprocity.
Oh yes, that and Scott's boot on my neck the entire time. But nothing personal against Scott. Nothing personal against anyone. But I still taste blood from the bloody nose. So
available anywhere albums are found. Well, anywhere podcasts are found. Earl and Tacony's The White Christmas album. Go find it. Behind us, you hear. What is this? Krasner World playing, but some great tracks on there. Earl, thank you again for the great Christmas album. You can find that online and at Dom Show 1210, along with our Caller of the Year contest.
Absolutely. We got to play more of that tomorrow, Henry. Yeah, let's work more of that in. Earl, what's your answer today?
My answer is lagging tech. I just spent an hour sitting on the side of the road trying to print up a document, and I get not responding. And the fact that the cell phone companies and the computer companies go and slow down your technology to force you to buy new technology when there's nothing wrong with it. You don't have to grease your phone. You don't have gears inside the computer that need to be replaced because the teeth break off. They just do it to tick you off. And that's what I want to throw overboard is the lagging tech.
Yeah. All right. By the way, Dan and Fleetwood, guys, if you could take a number, I'd like to get them on tomorrow. Loves raw milk. I want to talk about that. I'm serious.
I'll talk to him.
Yeah, talk to him. Put him on tomorrow.
Yeah, we need more time for that kind of call.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. Drew of Upper Darby and I are going to go to war on this answer. He can't be serious. Drew, what are you throwing overboard?
Hey, Dom, if I'm the captain of a ship and if I see fruitcake on that manifest, that's the first thing getting jettisoned, man. Because you know what, Dom? There's fruitcakes that have been hanging around for 10 years. They just get regifted after regifted after regifted, man.
The fruitcake never gets old. I ate a 50-year-old piece of fruitcake.
Why?
And I'm here, and it did nothing to me. And RFK Jr.'s on my side. Free the fruitcake. Thank you, Drew, very much. Let's put that on the agenda tomorrow, too. Fruitcake eating.
Yeah?
Okay. Dan, you go first. Henry may be getting that number of Dan of Fleetwood.
I'm going to do the brown-nosing answer of voting for myself. Me. Mike in Philadelphia said throw Dan overboard because he chooses not to carry around cash. And he's
that was a great answer. Henry, what's yours?
Yeah, I gotta go with Joe in Westchester with the robocalls answer. I mean, I got so many robocalls at one point that I just don't want to answer the phone anymore, even if it's an unknown number. I don't want to do it because I'm afraid I'm just going to get scammed or try to get scammed.
All right, we're going to take that one, Henry. We're going to put that in.
Oh,
put in Joe of Westchester on that. A bit of an upset. All right, Dan, we'll be doing the morning show the next couple of days, right?
Yes, a morning show. I'll be on with Dawn as well, and I'll be on with you for about an hour tomorrow. But Friday, it's all you and Henry, Dom.
All righty, so all that is happening. Follow on Twitter at DomShow1210, at DomShow1210. That's the way to go. And tomorrow we got Sean Spicer and Linda Kearns and others. Full shows every day. The only day I'm off is New Year's Day. So I hope you'll be with us. And vote at DomShow1210 for the Caller of the Year. Rich Cioli next to your Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
If you depend on Social Security, your retirement lifestyle may be at risk.
Jim O'Neill, Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania. I have my doubts about where we're going as a country. Much of our Social Security funding may dry up, which is not good for the citizens who paid into that system. Take your money and put it into a crash-proof retirement system. With the crash-proof retirement system, I can supplement or even replace Social Security